So, hello, everybody. I hope all is doing well. It is the Demetra K Show, also known as Wealth Wednesdays with Walter, who is our resident financial expert. And he's an expert a whole lot of the things. I think, too, we could throw the title of being a somewhat of a health expert. Walter knows all the ins and outs, or some of them, of how to live a healthier lifestyle. And so the purpose of the Demetra K Show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we are great people, but we can always strive to do better. Also, I'd like to say a big giant thank you and welcome to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, the other side of the conversation. Not only are you just viewers, but you are participants. And lately we have opened up the links, not yet anyway, so that if you have something to say or you have a question, you can come on and do that live. All I ask is that I see your face. If I don't already know who you are, just so I can verify that it's not no nonsense about to go on, because y'all know some of them folks like to get in here, and some of our folks, unfortunately, enact the plum fool. So we want to avoid that. Let's see. Who else? Who do we have here? Dorothy, what's going on with you? Wilbur. Yes, it's a hot topic, above, beyond, and forever. How are you doing? You say, marriage is a union between man and a woman, thus said the Most High God of the Hebrews. Dorothy says, I'm glad they couldn't find any seeds from our men. Okay. And Rain, how are you doing? All right. So we are talking about the Brat and her wife, Judy. They did decide to have a baby through in vitro fertilization, which means they had to, I guess, inseminate an egg or something, want somebody's egg in somebody's body, or they have to use the sperm from somebody else. So it sounds like they did a combination of both. So I'm going to play a little snippet of the Brat explaining it, and then we're going to get into a little bit of a deep conversation here. And I basically want to know, why are people mad at the Brat and Judy? Okay, so Walter, what say you before we get started? Who else is on here? Jeremy, how you doing? Jamarcus, how you doing? Joseph and Eric, how are you?
I just want to watch the video first. As usual, I ain't up on this, but I'm watching the video as we speak. Don't look like neither one of them healthy enough to have no baby, but I'm gonna leave that for the commentary.
All right, so here we go. I'm going to play the video, and then we'll get into it. I'm going to give some statistics, as I always do. So here we go.
Kid, we didn't think of anything else, right? So my wife had to do a genetic test to see what diseases ran in her bloodline. These are tests that you have to do because your donor cannot have the same diseases or traits in the bloodline, because that can make your child end up having these diseases. So my wife had like 4 or 5 different things in her bloodline that could not mix with the donor, because we didn't want the child to possibly end up carrying a disease, because we just want a healthy baby to love and just nurture and take care of. Anyway, this narrowed our options down to a couple of hundred with one black donor. Okay, one black donor, one. Man. And yes, I cracked a joke on our show that he looked like Jiminy Cricket, and I was not having that. But also, we went back through each sperm bank to see if this is really all we had. And it was one choice, and the one choice was not what I wanted to choose. Plus, his profile, his portfolio was very limited. Like, they give you so many different things, and you can pay more and more money to dig deep and go back in their family tree and all this stuff. So we wanted to investigate, and it was very limited, so we couldn't do that. And we waited as long as we could with hopes that more black donors would pop up, and they didn't. Now we're on a time frame, so that didn't happen. Now,
all right, so that was pretty much just a snippet, a synopsis, if you will, of her explaining it. Now, Jamarcus, you said you could care less about other people's problem. You got your own. Well, I totally agree with you. I don't even know what else to say about that. However, I've seen a lot of conversation around the Brat and Judy. Of course, you guys, if you've lived under a rock, they are a lesbian couple. They're married and all that other stuff. Of course, the Brat, she's a rapper, and her wife, Judy, is a hair mogul. When I tell you, she is balling out of control with money. So they both have money, right? She has the Kaleidoscope hair care line, which is millions and millions and millions of dollars over. So they're not hurting for money. The Brat, I think she's 50. If not, she's going to be. I don't know how old her wife is, but anyway, that's not even the point of me even saying what we're going to say today. She said that they did not have a lot of options as far as black male donors, right? So again, you have on one side, a lot of people are mad that they chose somebody else. It sounds like it may be a white donor. I'm not sure because she said there was a choice between an Asian and a white donor. So I'm assuming they went with the white donor. Don't quote me, okay? So she said they wanted to have an all black child. Of course, I guess I should throw this in there for the people who may be slow in the back. Two women cannot have a baby, right? That's not even my issue either, right? So obviously they needed somebody else with the right plug to get into the equation to give them a baby, right? So they did not find a suitable black donor. She says out of 100, only one fit the profile, and she didn't like how he looked, and that's her right, right? You paying all that kind of money, she could choose what she wants. So I actually had a conversation with somebody earlier about this because they brought this to my attention, and we kind of went over little numbers and I broke it down. So this is what I learned: less than 4% of sperm donors are black men. Healthy options. Less than 4% of healthy sperm donors are black men. That's what it is. Less than 4%. Compared to that of 53% white sperm donors. I don't even know why I should say male sperm donor, because I guess that's the only people that can do that. So anyway, again, less than 4% of black men that are sperm donors are healthy. Okay. Now let's go over some other statistics. 23% of black men that are 18 and over are smokers. 40% of black men that are 20 and over have hypertension. 40% of black men, I guess 20 and over still, have heart disease. To that of 21% white men. 38% of black men 20 and over are obese. Black men are 5 times more likely to contract HIV, AIDS than anybody else. Okay. It says that black men live 7.1 years less than anybody. Okay. And I'm assuming maybe that's probably their counterpart of a white man. It says the leading cause of deaths for black men are heart disease, cancer, and strokes. Okay. What else did I write down? Because I mean, there's a lot of things here. One thing I also found interesting that says that a lot of black men end up with oral diseases. Now, I don't know how, but I also know that a lot of times black men don't really like to go to the doctor like that, right? Don't like to go to the dentist. And, when you have teeth that are rotting, your teeth are close to your brain, right? Close to your head, so you can develop other problems. So there's a lot of stuff going on there. Also says that black men have the lowest life expectancy on earth and the highest death rate. So some of those things that contribute to that are racial discrimination, high incarceration, unemployment, lack of affordable health services, education, poverty, and some other things. So when we think about what the Brat said, I don't know why I'm dancing, in combination to what I just said, I want to figure out how is it that brothers, and I've seen some sisters mad and talking about them, they eat bed wenches and all kind of other stuff. So because we always want to deal with with what we know, right? As they say, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. We want to go off of speculation and out of sheer ignorance, right? So what I said and what she said, why are people mad at them? She said, obviously the time, their biological clocks are ticking. She said there's a timeline. They needed to have a baby sooner than later. Now, the chances of this black male sperm donor pool increasing in the time that they could have a baby was probably not going to happen no time soon, right? So again, why are we mad? And Jamarcus says she don't like men anyway, so it matters how he looks. Well, no, it does matter, because if it costs a lot of money to do that, because a lot of times you can't get it right on the first try. So it does matter. If I'm paying a lot of money for something, I want it to look the way I want it to look. So it does matter, right? So Walter, jump on in here. Wait, let me. Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm just listening so far. I'm trying to get my head around it. I mean, you do have the ability to choose who you want to choose. I mean, the statistics are the statistics. I don't know much about those. I know black men don't live the longest, but I mean, I don't know the statistics. But I mean, I guess So let me get this. When you donate sperm, you don't know who the baby goes to. It's just gone. So you just got
You don't,
kids out there.
as a man, no, you don't know that. You don't know that. But the other side, I guess they get to know that, for whatever reason they get to know. So yeah, they get to see what the genetic makeup is of said donor, and they get to decide whether I want to have a baby with somebody who is not healthy. And plus, a lot of sperm banks don't even take you if you're not healthy. And from what I understand, the conversation I was having with somebody earlier, a lot of black men don't even have an opportunity to do it because, as we said, they're saying less than 4% of black male sperm donors are healthy. So a lot of sperm clinics are probably like, well, you probably, in that 96%.
Yeah, I don't buy into the notion that black men are unhealthy. I think as they get older, maybe because of the diet and some of those things, yeah, I think that, black people, we just have the worst diet, period. I mean, that's all. I mean, I don't see a lot of old Filipino men either. Shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to think of how many old Mexican men I know. As we get older, our diet is horrific. That has a lot to do with it. Some illnesses you can't help, but for them, like heart disease, diabetes, some of those food diseases, I mean, we have control over that. And as far as going to a sperm donor, it's nothing that ever crossed my mind. I wouldn't want some kid floating out there. I don't want my sperm out there in this inner universe. So I bet you a lot of black men feel that way too. Just damn, I'm just donating sperm and I got a kid out there somewhere. I know emotionally you're not attached to the kid. I know a lot of people have kids they ain't emotionally attached to anyway, but it wouldn't be me donating sperm. So I'm probably not the best person commentary, but I mean, if they want to, let me back up. She wasn't saying they actually wanted a black man. That's what they were trying to do.
Yes, she said we wanted a black baby as they are both black, but there was not enough suitable options. She said they narrowed it down from where I guess they went to a few clinics to 100, and only one of those potential donors was black. And she said she didn't like the way he looked, so that singled him out. So that's what they're saying. Brother Samuel says greetings and how you doing, by the way. So it goes to show you that whites are trying to perfect their sperm because there is a fear among whites of genetic annihilation. Of course, blacks would not be encouraged. Most abortion clinics are in our community. Now, absolutely. But, we can also procreate the other way, the natural way. But like you said, we do utilize, when I say we black women, the abortion clinics disproportionately more than any other woman. So therein lies a problem as well. Joseph, how you doing? It says it sounds like self-hate to me. I mean, it could, but I think per what they said, it sounds logical. But the other thing too is, and I should say this, a lot of men make a lot of money being donors. They do. They just make a lot of money. There's a lot of money involved in that. So you have to be, relatively healthy. Just like a woman who would be a surrogate mom, they're not just taking any old body off the street to carry people's babies. They do. They have to go through the same thing. There's certain things they have to be health wise and everything like that as well. And also somebody said something about being a serial killer. So they do look at your criminal background too, as far as being a sperm donor. So Jamarcus, you said, okay, I read that already. And above and beyond forever says those statistics are wild. But let's ask this question. Are they right though? Now I know, statistics and they kind of wonky, they're skewed one way or the other, but can we agree that some of that may be true? I used to sell life insurance. Walt used to sell life insurance, and we know what the actuary table looks like, the morbidity table. We know. And it does have black people at, damn near the worst in everything health-wise, right? Now, of course, we know there's other factors, but it's true. So, I mean, it's like,
well, black men and people are generally, and the ones that are in bad health is due to the diet. I mean, when I sold life insurance, when I interviewed people, I just noticed that blacks and other minorities too had horrible diets, just the way that they eat. So they weren't really insurable. I mean, if you eat ham hocks and neck bones for 40 years and cornbread and pig's feet and put sugar and waffles and chicken and waffles at the same time? Come on. I'm surprised you made it to 60. So, of course, we're going to be in horrible shape, and that was part of the design, too. I hate to sound like a conspiracy brother, but the slaves were given slave food, leftover food. Give them Negroes the pig's feet. We gonna eat the pig, which is horrible in the first place, but give them the feet that's been stepping in the shit. That's the bottom of the barrel. Give them that. Give them the collard greens that's soaked in salt. You know what I'm saying? Give them just the corn. Give them the crap food. And we, being dumb enough to continue eating that way. So if you take that, you take a horrible diet, you take a horrible mindset. Black people tend to be liberals. They tend to be on the more left side, the Democratic side, the liberal side. And so they buy into that we ain't shit, we need massa. And your brain, where it goes the mind, goes the body. So that has a lot to do with it. I can tell you, a lot of the people, like today even, I was out, and where I was, it was a lot of minorities, brothers, Mexicans, Asians. And I'm just walking around the room, and I'm like, damn, I'm the fittest dude up in this joint. There was like 2 or 3 other dudes that were my size, weight, health, you know what I'm saying? And I was just like, I was kind of feeling myself, but I said, you know what? I make decisions every day when it comes to food. I grow broccoli sprouts. I have wine occasionally, but I'm most of the time I'm eating a healthy diet. I can't do pancakes and fried chicken. You rarely see me eating fried chicken. So we have to make better decisions. That's all. I think if white people or whoever it is, Jews, whoever they're comparing us to, they ate that way, they would be in the same boat. Matter of fact, you see in my industry, one of my industries, I see fat white people. Matter of fact, they're the fattest. They are the biggest. The fattest are the white men that I work around. Matter of fact, black men tend to be, for the most part, in better shape from what I see. So I don't know, maybe it's inner, maybe they look good on the outside, I don't know. But again, it's food and how you treat yourself. And a lot of black people, I'm going to say it, and it is going to be what it is, we tend to put a lot of our decisions up in the universe. We're going to leave it to Jesus. He going to do everything. He going to pray over this chicken. This fried chicken is no good for you, but he going to pray over it anyway. You can't eat those waffles every day, but we're going to give it to the Lord and he going to make it okay. So I think that has a lot to do with our physical condition. And me, I tend to be in better shape than most people. I just don't eat the standard, Negro slave diet. And I think that's our issue. If we ate, more fish, which I know Muslims teach us to do. I eat a lot of raw foods, raw fishes, raw vegetables, and I tend to just, I think, be in better shape. And I know there was a time during the pandemic I started eating like black people are traditional, eating, just didn't give a fuck what I was eating. I was eating all kinds of shit just in the house, just acting a fool, and I paid for it. So I know, just going back to the way I used to eat my healthy diet, I've regained my health. So I think that's how we fix it.
Yeah, and I'm just reading guys' comments. You guys, make a good point about some of them, and we know if you've read even a little bit of medical apartheid, yeah, it's kind of makes you raise an eyebrow to the American medical system because they have, tweaked some numbers and, a whole bunch of stuff. Mad scientists, as I think it was Dorothy that said, some of these mad scientists have done to black people in the name of medical science, if you will. But I think the other thing remains too, even if you're not talking about, sperm, being a sperm donor. I mean, black people in general, not just black men, but we're all a little bit more on the unhealthy side. I mean, let's just keep it a buck. It's the truth, Now we know there's a lot of other things that go into it. There is racism and, a whole bunch of other stuff, but there's things that we can do. So the person I was having a conversation with this morning, I said, Honorable Elijah Muhammad wrote 2 books, How to Eat to Live. And most, I would say a lot of black people do not follow a diet even close to that, right? I don't ever remember once him talking about fried chicken or really a whole lot of fried anything. I mean, either one of those books. I'm not saying these fried foods is you shouldn't have it at all, but we know a lot of people have it more than they're supposed to. So the point that I'm making is there are things that we could do to become healthy. Now the other thing too is I don't know how many people are actively going to these sperm clinics or whatever, trying to get impregnated or whatever. Most people I know, they did it the traditional way. But again, I think we can concede that the Brat and Judy are not what we would call a traditional, as they are both two women. And Easy, you basically said too, that they didn't, I guess, do their due diligence in looking for a donor. But again, age is of a factor. They're both older, and once a woman gets a certain age, she ain't having no babies like that. The factory kind of shuts down due to menopause. So that probably had a little bit to do with it. But I don't know. I mean, I really don't know if what they're saying is true, and some of it probably is. And I guess we want more black male sperm donors, and I guess there's certain things you can do depending on who you ask. I don't know.
Well, didn't she say her wife had a bunch of problems too?
Correct. And I don't know how old she is, but I guess they tried to have her carry the baby, and for whatever reason it worked out. So into the Brat ended doing it. End up doing it. I'll be honest with you, I'm not that invested in the situation, but I just thought it was interesting because, like I said, somebody brought it to me that they said like only 4% of black male donors are healthy. So I guess we also need to know what they are looking for. But then also, like she said, the sperm donors, I guess, that she was looking at didn't match her wife's bloodline or something like that. So certain things she gets with the sperm donors that have the same thing, then it could cause a problem. So it sounds like there's levels to it. Let's see here. OG, how you doing, by the way? Says, so what are you saying? She couldn't find a healthy black man? That's what she's saying. It's not what I'm saying. It's what she's saying. And I mean, they lesbians. So they probably not trying to have sex with a man. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, I'm trying not to be, graphic. But if they're lesbians, they're probably not trying to have sex with a man. Although they want a baby, they need a man to do that. But they ain't trying to do it the traditional way. So I'm telling y'all what they said. And per the research that I did, they said that less than 4% of black men, sperm donors, are healthy. That's what they're saying. I'm not saying it's necessarily true. That's what they're saying. And they said that the measures that they took was not working out for them. So it's not what I'm saying. Honeydew, how you doing? Extreme X, he says, but I agree with him. I've changed my diet 10 years ago. And I'm going to keep it real with you. I've seen a lot of black men that I'm friends with on social media post about them having strokes, heart attacks. And I'm like, wow, they're fairly young. But they're being transparent. They're talking about it. I'm like, okay, what's going on? And then the one guy I saw today, I don't know, he may be watching, so I won't say his name. In fact, I forgot his name. But he said he needs to change his diet. He had a mini stroke.
You guys, it's diet and exercise, period. I don't know why black people, why we struggle with this shit. We keep talking about this shit over and over and over. Like, this is like, Jesus Christ. Are we really like trying to figure out, like, you don't even have to have a third grade education to realize if you eat a chicken nugget versus a kale salad, and if you eat a chicken nugget every day, you're going to die sooner. It's not complicated. Like, black people, for us, for people that are the smartest people on the planet, that built everything from the pyramids, created the cell phone, to this, that, the heart, you name it, we sure struggle with some dumb shit. Like, damn, it's diet and exercise. Do you realize this? If you, like, one thing I learned when I was in Italy is in a lot of countries, you eat and then you work out. You eat and you take a walk. You see a lot of cultures of after they eat, they take a walk. Period. Or dinner and a movie and intercourse. Dinner and a movie and a walk. Something exercise. Something move something. It's not complicated. Now, if you put chicken grease in your veins, you don't have to work that much harder. I know for a fact, like on the weekends, I tend to be around people that don't care as much about their health, and I'm trying to cut them out of my life as much. But like on Monday morning, if I hang out on the weekends and Monday morning, I feel it. I'm sluggish versus like this morning when I woke up, I was like, boom, I slept 3 hours. I've been on it since 3:30 a.m. This shit is 4 o'clock here. But when I eat like them, I need a nap. Like you probably remember, I used to fall asleep all the time. I used to take naps constantly. I rarely take naps. And I know it's 100% based on my lifestyle, the food that I eat. And yeah, do I want to eat chicken wings and, sit up and do pancakes all day? Sure, that tastes good. But you ain't gonna make it.
Hold on, let me say. So, black and ugly is ever not my name. Your name. I didn't say that. He says wrong. The Brat did date men and had a chance to have a baby. I said they lesbians now. Whether she dated men or not. So sometimes y'all got to kind of. I get it, because this is what I would say about sometimes with us. We listen to be cantankerous, to be pugnacious, instead of just listen. I didn't say she was always a lesbian or she never dated men. I said that they're lesbians, so they probably not wanting to have sex with a man. That's what I said. I didn't get all off into the lady dating history. I don't know nothing about the Brat, then Functified, and a couple other songs. That's all I know. So I just want to be clear about that. Walter?
No, I mean, I don't know what her dating history is, and I don't know. I think it's just that's some shit she could have kept to herself. So what? You trying to have a baby? Okay. So what? You trying to have a baby? Go have a baby. Some people just need to stay in the news. You know what I'm saying?
And I agree with you. I personally wouldn't have told anybody that either. I'd have kept that to myself. But I should say too that they have a reality show, I guess. So maybe that's kind of where it came out, which it sounds like it did. It came out from the Brat Love Judy or something like that.
I mean, but those reality shows, they ought to call them "Kill Black People." That's what they ought to tell the reality shows. I mean, damn, Jerry Springer, rest in peace. The shit that's on TV now make him look like Moses. It's like, damn. Like, so you got a reality TV show, cool. So what? Let's keep destroying the race? I mean, I wouldn't, first of all, if I was dating Don Lemon, you know what I'm saying? That shit sound crazy, I know. I wouldn't be putting my business out there on the street about how I'm trying to have a kid and I can't find a black. I, who cares? That's just, in my opinion, I almost feel like the producers are like, okay, we need to keep stabbing your race. One, they don't look to be the healthiest. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen the Brat. I think I met her once in person a long time ago. I don't know what she looked like now. One, two, and when you wait till you're 50 to have a kid, you run into these kind of issues. I don't care how healthy you are. You have a kid at 50 versus 30, you're going to have these problems. Right? And then have they ever thought about that poor kid? So you're going to have this white kid growing up in a black lesbian house. Just think about that for a second. I hope it's a girl at least.
I want to say it's a boy, but don't call me. Like I said, I'm not that invested, but I think it's a boy.
I mean, like, I'm from the school. I believe that a man should be in his kid's life, especially a son. You got two women raising a kid that's suicide and ain't going to work. And on top of that, and I can see if they were two sisters raising a kid, but you got two women who are going to bring this kid into a world of madness. So this poor kid is already going to be an article in all the newspapers, because when he's born, it's like, oh, here's a white kid by these two black gay chicks, all the chaos. It's going to follow him his whole life. He don't have a chance. They might as well give him some cyanide and let him take it, kill himself early. Don't make him stress out. I mean, damn. Like, that's a shame for the kid. He ain't even have a chance. Sometimes people just need to think about that shit. And
well, I mean, I would say this, and I've always said this. I have my opinions on all of that. I just try to keep that to myself because I'm one that I know what I like, right? I'm a straight woman. I don't care what they like. I don't try to get into their beds per se. I don't try to write them biblically, any of that kind of stuff. Like I said, I have my opinions about it, but how I feel, it don't matter. They gonna do what they want to do, regardless of what I think, what you think, or anybody thinks. So that was her explanation. But the fact of the matter is, regardless of what's going on with the sperm donors and all that other stuff, because you're right. Yeah, you're right. We are some of the most fruitful people on the planet, right? Some people just breathe and they pregnant for whatever reason. But I mean, yeah, we can all stand to be healthier to some degree, I would imagine.
And I don't have a problem with them having a white donor. You know me, I don't care. I could care less. Honestly, if it were up to me, I wish God or the universe would just come back, snap his fingers, and make us all the same damn color so we can get to the real shit. You know what I'm saying? This shit is confusing. Every time it's race. This shit gets old. And I can see if black people, as we were people, were actually willing to do something about it versus the shit we always go through. I get tired of talking about race. Do you realize race, if you just take race by itself, if we were just all different colors and put on the planet at the same time, would there really be an issue? You know what I'm saying? What if we could just say, okay, you know what? We're all the same people. What if we could focus on that? And what if black people, we could just focus on being great, like who we're supposed to be? We bring some really, I can tell you, being a young black man, when I come into a room, I am exceptional. People love black men.
Hold up. You said when you a young black man, huh?
I am 50. I tell you what, listen, I'm 53 years old. If I were to go on Match.com right now and put my profile, women that my age will look like my mother. Trust me.
Let me also interject here. Dear Wilbur, how are you doing this fine evening? He said, I will be honest, I hate my existence here, but I've had a good life. I could care less about my weight and what I eat anymore. I'm concerned reading that. I'm very concerned. I'm not quite sure where you're going with that. I don't want to speculate, but I've pinned the link on YouTube. If you would love to come up and have a conversation with us, since you typed that or whatever, I would love to have a more of a better conversation with you outside of the comment section, because I'm concerned about that statement, and I hope I'm not reading into it wrong. But yeah, that's very concerning to me. So I'm concerned for you, brother. So if you would like to,
some people just say, damn it, I'm through with it. I'm gonna eat what I want to eat. I don't really care no more. I feel like a lot of people do that, especially women. Lord have mercy. Oh my goodness, man. Women, y'all got to do better. Men, we do too. But like black women, since y'all in the spotlight right now, y'all seem to have the ball. One of y'all pick up the pieces. Seriously. It's just nice to go out and see black people dressed nice, not in pajamas. You know what I'm saying? Come on. Black people, we have so much that we're dealing with. And we got, and I say we because we voted for this fool. We got Uncle Joe Sleepy Biden up there, slave master. Dude can't even put a sentence together. And black people are breaking their neck to prop this dude up. I do not get it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you something. I hesitated this, but I said I was going to do this. I was going to wear this to a black church. So I found this shirt online. I was going to wear it today, but I didn't want to get the party too started. I was going to wear it to a black church.
You trying to get holy water, holy oil? The power of Christ compels you. You trying to get rebuked? You trying to have all the motherboard fall out? You trying to have a pastor? You just swinging from chandeliers?
I'm gonna walk up and I'm gonna put money in the bucket. I'm gonna turn around and say, Trump 45. Now I bought this shirt as a joke, but the point I'm making is the fact that like I could wear this shirt, right? I could wear this shirt somewhere. I think it's kind of pimping. But I could wear this shirt. I don't have to say a word, and black people will lose their mind. Why is that? Why does it matter? Huh?
I was reading comments says no, I started playing tennis because I was walking down the hallway wondering who the hell was
Oh,
following me, and it was my thighs rubbing together.
Lord.
I thought when I read the end of that, you was gonna say it was your knees creaking because when I lived at a two-story, every time I walked down the stairs, be my knees was the cartilage or something. I
I'm
feel you.
telling you, cut back on those carbs, and sugar is a killer for black people. It is. It is a killer. Like everything, most of the things we eat have sugar in them. A lot of meats have sugar in them, which is why Asians, Japanese, they drink green tea. I drink green tea every day, 2, 3 times a day. I have like a bunch of teas that I drink. Um, but sugar is a killer. Sugar, bread, grains, like that stuff is wiping you out.
Oh, yeah.
So you cut back on that. You guys you'd be surprised if you like just start looking at your food. That you follow Dr. Berg. There's a lot of people. Just start watching what you eat. Like for instance, instead of I don't eat rice, I do cauliflower. You can take cauliflower, you can grate it and make rice. You can make I don't eat mashed potatoes. I make cauliflower mash. You know what I'm saying? It's healthier and it's a vegetable. And I know I just cut a zillion calories and the sugar and the bread, the grains out of my life. I don't wake up, oh my God. And it's easy stuff to do. Wake your ass up and grab you. First of all, I do apple cider vinegar every day before each meal. I try and do that. They make it with honey and cayenne pepper, the brag, so you can get it so it's not as harsh. It actually works good as a cleanse with water. Just making those decisions, and over a period of time, you'll see small changes. Like when I started doing this, I started losing weight a little bit at a time, and then a little bit, and a little bit, and before you know it, I was down almost 50 pounds. But you have to just start, and you have to tell people around you, shut the hell up, I'm on a journey. And some of those things will go away. You
Let
know
me
what I'm
read
saying?
this comment here, and uh, is it Sir Shirley? Forgive me, but I'll say Shirley. How you doing? It says, I personally don't choose unhealthy men to date, especially with those who do not desire to accept change. I'm not trying to be a nurse to the perpetual walking time bomb. You know what? I'm the same way. Um, because I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair for anybody to date somebody who will not change. One thing, if you're unhealthy and you're like, all right, let me go on and get myself together. But some people do not want to do that. And I call those people old dogs. Now I call them old dogs because they say the rest of that is you cannot teach an old dog new tricks. Some people just don't want to learn new tricks. They don't want to learn anything new, taking any information or any of that stuff. They're set in their ways. And I'm just now learning of the term. They call it was a hospice wife. Oh, sister. I figured that, but I didn't want to mess it up. So sorry about that. Sister Shirley. There's a new term they call the hospice wives. And that's where you have these, I guess it's like a younger woman or a woman who's more healthier than her man. She ends up taking care of her man. Like she becomes his nurse. And I've seen that quite a bit. I guess maybe because I'm getting older and I'm starting to see that, especially with a lot of men, they do get these younger women that are taking care of, okay, honey, it's time for your doctor's appointment. Oh, the doctor said you're supposed to eat a salad and he don't want to do that. So you go get him a bucket of fried chicken or whatever the case is, right? He can't go anywhere. He can't walk too far. You find yourself on vacation by yourself a lot because he just can't right now. There's this, I can't think of her name, but she's in her upper 70s, if not 80 now. She's a big time vegan, a raw vegan. She does a lot of juicing and everything. And she really looks like at this point, she's, I don't know, 60. She doesn't look her age and she's very fit. Now, when you see her husband, he's all slumped over in a wheelchair and he's got all this gray hair and he can't move. And she says, I'll never leave him. I'll never leave him. But back when I went vegan, he didn't want to do it. He kept wanting to eat meat. And so we took different paths. diet wise, and here we are. And he laments and talks about how I wish I would have did it when she did it. Now she's taking care of me. So I get why you said that. I mean, like if you spend a lot of time taking care of yourself, I don't think it's fair that you potentially have to change your man's diapers or be wheeling them to the doctor. And again, the other way around too, because I know somebody gonna say, well, there's women like that too. But yeah, I don't think it's fair. It's not.
I mean, well, damn. Like, I can see, like, first of all, this whole vegan versus non-vegan thing, I think that's trash, most of it. I mean, because I know a lot of vegans that are just as bad of shape as the meat eaters. So I don't get stuff like I don't eat a lot of meat. When I do, if you're gonna eat meat, you can do grass fed, grass finished because the shit they put in meats, chickens, pork. If you're eating pork, stop it. Even chicken is bad for you. You realize chicken is worse than beef because
Yeah.
chicken pound for pound is worse than beef. You don't fry beef. You do a lot of stuff to chicken. You don't do to beef. You know what I'm saying? So like, but then you can eat a small amount of beef, but you could do a lot of vegetables, fruits. It's easy to wake up and say, you know what? First of all, stop waking up and eating in the morning. That's a killer. Because when you wake up in the morning and you eat, you shut down your fat burning factory. When you wake up, your fat is burning. Do you realize when you wake up in the morning, that's when you have the most energy? They call it, you ever heard the expression morning wood? You know what I'm saying? Like in the morning, things tend to work better. So what do? You go and throw food and it's like pouring water on the fire. Stop doing that. I try and eat somewhere around 12 to 3, maybe 4 or 5 at the latest, and then I try and shut it down because you want to give your body a chance to rest, and then you want to let the fat that's already burning burn. So that will help you. And then, like I'm telling you, cut out the sugar. Like vegans, I'll see them, oh, I eat okra, but it's fried. You realize that oil is from the cow, fool. Or worse, canola oil or vegetable oil, which is even worse for you. So a lot of people are fooling themselves. Oh, is a donut a vegan? Yeah, donut is vegan, but it's got sugar in it and bread and carbs and all the stuff you're not supposed to eat.
And I'll give you and easy. I want to address your comment because you're absolutely right. I was my daughter and I went vegan in 2014. I was that for 7 years. Right now, when I first went vegan, they didn't have all the Impossible burgers and all the uh, what do you call it? What am I trying to say? It's when things are made bad. I just slipped my mind. It's not natural, even though it's vegan. It'll come to me. It's a stupid word too. So it was easier for us to lose a lot of weight because you would have to make everything right. It's rare that you could even go out and get an Impossible burger or something that was made vegan that kind of tastes like meat or something. So we're better off. But I noticed as the years went by, they introduced all these processed. That's the word I'm looking for. Processed foods that were vegan, right? Then of course you see the weight gain, and as y'all said, and Janelle, you said it perfectly. There's a lot of fat vegans because French fries are vegan, Oreos are vegan, don't everything's vegan now, right? Because the meat companies have gotten into the vegan business, so they're like, okay, well, so we want to get the money on both ends. So it's kind of hard for a person to say that they're vegan unless they're just doing it kind of from the ground up to be that. Um, but I agree with you, Walter. I think people should do what's best for you. Like I said, I was a vegan for 7 years. I'm no longer vegan now, although I do eat mostly plant-based. Like this week, we spent time eating salmon, right? We bake salmon and salads and things like that. And as you said, too, chickens, people don't realize what chickens do. Chickens, their eyes are on this side, each side of their head, and they spend time going like that. I'm pecking, okay? I'm pecking. And they don't necessarily
I
see
thought you were throwing the chicken head.
they don't necessarily know what they're eating. They're just pecking. They're just pecking at everything. I mean, if you ever get a chance to watch a chicken, they're not like, nah, that's some doo doo. I'm gonna eat around that. They just eating. So yeah, chickens tend to be a little bit more unhealthy. They're like a pig. A chicken is like a pig with 2 legs and wings. You truly think about it. I mean, to gross you out, but it's true. I want to address this easy systems. Everyone's talking about changing diet, but when the depression, people are basically experiencing depression. Depression is a silent killer and often contributes to the obesity. I totally agree with you. And I hate, especially that in our community, we don't take depression as serious as it should be. How many times have we heard this takes a Robitussin? Or ain't nothing wrong with you. You need to quit tripping. Oh, you're just too sensitive. And it's like, no, it's a little bit more than that. Now, I will say, I haven't spent a lot of time in my life being depressed. Like, you might have a bout of it here and there. Although I did experience depression about a year or so ago. So I understood to the point where I needed to go seek mental health. And it was my daughter that said, Mom, you're not okay. You need to go get some help. And at that moment, I was like, you know what? I don't need to talk to somebody because it felt like a cloud was just following me everywhere I went. And like, even if it was like a cloudy day, I was like, oh, I couldn't wait for the sun to come up. So, point that I'm making is we need to first realize that depression does exist in our community and stop brushing it off as, oh, you tripping. It's, oh, ain't nothing wrong with you. Or even it's another thing too. How many times do people tell somebody, especially in our community, that they're depressed? What's one of the first things they'll tell them to do? Go to church.
Oh shit.
Go to church, pray about it, go lay it on the altar. It's like, okay, I can do all that too. However, I need some other solutions because everything, I'm not saying prayer don't work, but I think we also got to concede that God has put people on this planet to help us, right? There's some people like, if you're having an issue, you might go to the pastor and he might work with you or whatever. We ain't talking about the pastors of the day where you got to talk to the I was about to say the pallbearer, but what's the armor bearer and all these other people to even talk to them. But yeah, we need to stop doing that to people say they're depressed, say you tripping, because it's more to it than that. So go seek some help if you need to. It's all right to do that. You'll be better off for it most of the time.
Well, and think when it comes to depression too. I mean, it doesn't appear anyone has the answer, but I know when I get mentally low sometimes, I know when I start, like I say, okay, I'm supposed to be doing this. So I start working on something like I need to get done. Those thoughts tend to go away. Like it's harder to be depressed if you are chasing something. Like this morning I woke up and I was tired. I was like, oh, the hell am I doing up at 3:30, 4 o'clock? But I got up, I turned on the lights, I did the dishes. So I made dinner for some friends last night. And I just got out my spreadsheets and I just started working on my stuff. And I felt better. And the fact is this morning I wasn't going to go out. I wasn't going to go to work today and, go out and work my business. I was just going to stay home today and just pass. And then I said, no, don't do that. Because even if you go out today and even if you, let's say you go out and do something even small, at least it's a contribution to your future and your wealth and you're going to feel better. So I got there and I felt better. And, today was actually a really good day. But I almost didn't go because I was like, oh, I'm not feeling well and all these things. So the point I'm making is when you start moving, a lot of those feelings tend to, not that they disappear, but it's hard to be depressed and moving at the same time. Because I noticed like during the pandemic, we were in the house a lot. And I know a lot of people are going through it. But you get up, you get out, you go outside. Do you realize even direct sunlight will affect your mood?
Oh, yeah.
So go out in the sun. If you don't have it, turn the light on and stand under it. You know what I'm saying? Do something. But get moving. And that's one of the best ways. Like I had a buddy of mine, his name is Dan. When I had an issue, he said, let's take a walk. And I was like, oh, shit, I already know what he get me. I already know what he's doing. And we didn't even talk about the problem. He's just like, you feel better? Because while I'm walking, I'm figuring it out on my own. And because I'm with somebody that I, mentor, so, a mentor, I already know, okay, this dude got the answer, but he know I got the answer too. So the fact that I'm moving is giving me a chance to, one, get moving, which is giving me exercise and oxygen, which is helping me mentally. So you got to keep moving at all costs. Get up and be working on something. You know, like behind me, I have this dream board. I have dream boards all over my house. And when I walk by them, I go, oh, you know what? That's what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be chasing these goals. Even if some of the things I'm not, let's say I don't get, I just know that I'd rather die chasing something. You know, at least I'm going for it. You know what I'm saying? And then I like, you know, my kitchen. I'm gonna show you guys this. Don't freak out. I know how some of y'all get, but she's an icon. So I like to have breakfast with Tiffany. So every morning, well, I don't eat in the morning, but I like to kick it with Audrey sometimes and have breakfast. You know, I eat my breakfast later. The point I'm making is, I don't know if you ever seen Breakfast at Tiffany's. So I try and live a lifestyle like that. Like I'm gonna treat every day like it's on purpose. I'm gonna chase my goals. So you could do things like that to keep your mind fresh, because depression is out there for everybody. It's coming for you. It's just, what do you do with it? Do you decide to lay down with it, or like do you get moving? I got all these damn candles. I got 2,000 candles in my house right now. I got shit everywhere. And when I said I wanted to start a candle business, I was like, it sounded like a great idea at the time. And I got really like anxious and like down in the dumps because I was just like, this is too much work. But I just kept going. And before you know it, we got a finished product. You know what I'm saying? And so people are starting to buy them. And that just gave me one more thing to work on.
And Ollie, how are you? Um, he makes a good point. He says single for 2 years because my girl will not change her diet. How many people are that serious about their diet to where, you know, they be like, adios, baby, I can't do it. You know, you a little bit too unhealthy. You like to eat the pork chops, and I don't want to do that, right? So how many people are really that serious about their lifestyle to where you would cut somebody loose?
I mean, you should be to some degree. I mean, you can influence people too. You know, I've dated women that didn't care as much about what they ate. Actually, that's not true. I shouldn't say that because I don't tend to be around women like that. But I can understand if somebody's not eating healthy. I mean, you just things you can do to try and help them, and you just lead by example. But at the end of the day, you know, if their eating habits is wearing down on your relationship, then I mean, if you did all you can do, it might be time to bounce. Because I know, like for me, I don't buy cookies. I don't buy junk. But my girl would buy junk. And she'd be like, oh, it's moderation. I'm like, no, it's not moderation. It's not how life works. You don't give a crackhead a little bit of crack because it's moderation. So, you know, when it comes to eating and relationships, I mean, that's a hard fight. You have to continually just remember what you're doing. Because a chicken nugget here is cool. You know, once in a while, you know, you have pizza, whatever. But that stuff every day. And you guys, food, your stomach is the second brain. What you put in your body greatly affects your mind state. You guys suffering from depression, change your diet. You'd be surprised when you eat better that your brain will change. Your stomach is the second brain. So treat it better. And then watch how your other mind, watch how that does. Oh,
Al
shit.
Smith, how you doing? You say, I don't know what brothers you're talking about, feminists, but I could care less about her or any other black broad have a baby with. Dear Lord, work on my mouth.
I know what you're trying to
Please,
say. I get it.
please don't let me say things that I will get in trouble for. Lord, button my mouth. I mean, because I'm like, all right. I see it. I wish brothers like you or even sisters that think like you will walk around with a t-shirt on or something stamped on your forehead where you say, I hate black women or I hate black men, right? So that way black people know how to avoid you, right? Like the black women know how to avoid you. Like they see you coming and like, they just do, you know, just completely avoid you all together. That way we know who we dealing with, right? Because that's how you feel. That's how you feel. Nobody's gonna take that away from you. But I mean, if you don't care, then why did you get on here and make a comment about it? You do care. You wanted us to acknowledge you. So we acknowledge you. Do you feel better now? Good. All right. So let's see. Brother Sam, you said something I want to address. You said most of these impossible burgers contain soy or canola, which are very detrimental to your health. It's better to make your own vegan burgers, just as a sister commented earlier that she does. She makes her own. Yeah, actually, impossible burgers are worse than you for regular meat. You might as well have a regular hamburger. If you look at the stuff that they putting in there, it's like I think it's higher in fat, which I don't even know how that's possible if it ain't real meat. Sodium is higher, so yeah, you might want to stay away from that. Make your nice vegan burger, black bean. There's a whole lot of things you can do to make vegan burger. I said I'm gonna learn how to do a beet burger because I like beet. So I'll let y'all know how that goes. Let's see here. Hello, Miss Kimmy. And I'm with you too, Thunder. Pork chops, yeah, I can tell you the last time I even had one, you know. Let's see. LB, how you doing? He says modern deterioration. And Ella, she says, Demetra K, you mad? Have you ever, baby, you want to, more importantly, with the brat? So I think you're saying, am I mad? Are you asking me if I want to have a baby? Why, huh? Okay, if you can repeat that. No, I'm rarely mad. I mean, what would I be mad for? If you can name me one reason why I could be mad, then maybe I could see if there's some validity to it. But I don't have a reason to be mad. I'm actually pretty happy most of the time. Thunder, you say, when you take a loan from an insurance company and pay it back, does this help your credit score? Yes, it depends. If you pay it back in a reasonable amount of time, yes. If you have like a slow pay, no. What's a slow pay?
When you borrow money from your insurance policy, they don't report to the credit agencies. I think that's what she
Oh, I
said.
thought you were talking about, okay, so because it didn't say insurance. Oh, you did say insurance. What am I talking about? Yes, no, it doesn't. Because it's your money. So you're actually just taking a loan out on your own money, right? And then I think you pay yourself back with interest on some of those policies. So I'm sorry, I don't know why I thought it was talking about like a regular loan.
No, that's yeah.
Mhm.
But I mean, if you're trying to build your credit, you can borrow money from your insurance policy and then take out a secured loan somewhere, put it somewhere like and do a secured loan. That will help build your credit. Um, that's something that you could do. So, and the diffusers do work, you guys. Those things actually, it's funny. I have one. I don't know if you can hear it. I have a diffuser going in the background, um, and that I leave in the house. I have several of them. I have two in this room alone. Um, I try and do things, and you guys could do it too. Like when I take showers on Amazon, they have this eucalyptus spray. I spray this. My bathroom smell like a spa. When I go into my bedroom, I have eucalyptus and lavender everywhere. I know because when I go into a spa, I know how it makes me feel. So I'm like, shit, I'm gonna do that in my house. And those little things you could do. You can buy Amazon. I have a jacuzzi in my backyard. It was $600, and it holds like 4 people, and it's sturdy. $600 Amazon. You got a jacuzzi in your backyard. Some of y'all put it in your kitchen, put it in the bedroom. You put it where you want it. It's inflatable. You can move it. So things like that. Anything you could do to help give you more peace of mind helps. Plus, it gives you stuff to do too, so you can unplug from some of this crap that's on the internet and TV. Like I don't know some of the stuff that's on TV that you guys watch. I don't know how you do it. Like I tried to watch The Housewives. I saw like 2 seconds of Love and Hip Hop, and I was like, I can just feel my brain power, just my brain depleting after watching that 2 seconds of Love and Hip Hop. I was like, what in the hell is going on? What's up, E?
Hey, Evan.
Speaking of white offspring, Evan Cool. He helped me keep it together. He's here for the Negro Hour. But no, Evan is black man. So, but yeah, do what you got to do to take care of your health. Because it's easy. I'm telling you, it's easy. Like for me, it took me mental kung fu Yoda Jedi to lose 50 pounds. And I know if I let go, I could gain those 50 pounds right back. I know that I can. People that don't care about themselves, you could do it. And it's sad, it takes forever to lose 50 pounds and you can gain it right back. Right. So you have to, like, surviving every day, every move you make is a fight for your life. Like, I don't drink white wine, I drink red wine because of the resveratrol or whatever's in it. Plus, I like the way it tastes. You know, I struggle with wine. That's my addiction. It's not an addiction. I'm not addicted to it, but like, it's one of the few things I can enjoy. So I even try and pick which wines that I drink.
Let me ask this. Because I'm one of those people, I'm very selective about what I I don't eat perfect. So I want to just put it out there. But I am very selective about what I put on my body. I wear natural deodorant. Yes, I finally found one that works. I don't ask me the name of it. I got it at Sprouts, but it's the best one that I've used so far. Um, I do not brush my teeth with anything other than natural toothpaste. So right now I'm using Neem toothpaste. Is all natural stuff in there. Uh, Shampoos is natural. I haven't put lotion on my body in years. It's usually like shea butter. Right now I'm using straight coconut oil. I use that on my face as well. So the point that I'm making is we got to be careful of the stuff that we put on our bodies too, because stuff will seep into your orifices, if you will. So yeah, we got to be cognizant of that as well. Hair oils is natural. My daughter and I, we make it. So I'm pretty careful, even with some of the stuff that I put on my face. Make sure it's vegan, and all of that, because I mean you could have negative reactions for things that you put on your body as well. So we have to be careful with that. Ebony, how you doing? Says I'm taking it, and I could be wrong, but biracial is only okay if the father is black. Um, I don't know. I mean, I just feel like we all biracial to some degree, especially if you calling yourself a descendant of slavery. Most of us, it's somewhere in our genealogy, or if that's even the right way to say it. Mass of them been up in some of the slave shacks, and I'm sure a lot of them were connected to us, right? So like when I hear that, I'm like, well, what black person in America that's claiming to be a ADOS, if you will, or FBA? Who was running around here that's pure Mandingo? Because if you pure Mandingo, then that means you ain't FBA or ADOS or any other thing that connects you to slavery, right? I would think unless you're just one of those lucky people that nowhere from, what is it, the 1500s, when slavery will start to take place, you're one of those lucky people, or Massa was not involved in your family. Let's keep it a buck. Miss Ann was dipping too. So we all got a little bit of something in us that would consider us, I don't know, be somewhat biracial, whether it's white or somebody else. So I don't know. I just like when I hear people say that, I'm like, well, only people that probably pure Mandingo, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I guess I'll say pure African are the ones that actually live over there. I would just imagine. So because I hear a lot about how to qualify somebody who's biracial and this, that, and not saying this about you, Ebony, but I hear that a lot. So I don't know. Maybe I'm off. It's very possible that I am. And let's see. Pearl, he says quiet versus quite humble said. Okay, and then Buck Horse, how you doing? He says, what about the best stocks? So we're gonna get to that in a minute. Dorothy says, I think your diet has to be a lifestyle change. Yeah, it can't just be something you did temporarily. Right now, we're seeing a lot of celebrities. I just learned about it, doing something called Ozempic. And it sounds like it's a diabetic drug where they give you a shot and it makes you skinny. So you're seeing a lot of these celebrities that are just like super skinny.
Oh, Ozempic or something like that.
Yeah, they're taking those shots and they just look like it's horrible, like The Walking Dead. But it has to be a lifestyle change. You're absolutely right. Thunder, you say, if you had a raw land, would you plant pecan trees or black walnut trees? Which would be more valuable?
You can Google it. I have no idea. But I mean, the fact that you have your own land is huge. You want to own property. It's good to have a piece of land. So no lotion, I'm natural. Oh, I love some lotion. lotion, baby
What
oil.
we were saying, as far as a lot of times you put lotion on your skin, which your skin is the largest organ on your body, and a lot of those lotions have chemicals. Deodorant has chemicals, so try to use
Oh
things that
yeah,
are natural. Yeah, I use all natural oils. Just depends. Sometimes I use almond oil on my face, natural coconut oil. I even use olive oil, and just different things. But I haven't used lotion in a very long time. I can't remember the last time I did. I don't even own lotion, honestly.
yeah. I like coconut oil. Coconut oil is good for everything. Let me tell you. I keep it in the kitchen. I keep it universal right in the middle of the house because you never know when you need it. You can
I
heat it
just
in the
hope you ain't
microwave.
cooking with that same oil.
No, I got a dip. No, I don't know. I don't know. This is not the. This is not the midnight baby oil. This is the. I don't know. Can you use it for that? By the time you heat it, the mood will be over. No,
You
no, no.
don't want it. You don't want it too hot. Okay, you don't want to be frying people up.
You know what I'm saying, girl? Tonight you chicken grease. No, I'm just saying you can just rub it on you. It's like natural, organic. This is the lotion right here. So
Exactly.
I mean, I use it for this is my cooking baby oil. I use it. I mean, the cooking coconut oil. I use it because I use that and natural butter. But no, it is good. You can put coconut oil all over yourself. Now you might be glowing. You walk next to a fire,
And
you have
Dorothy's
problems.
right. Dorothy Wright says the store closes and you don't know how to make your own spices, etc. You're in trouble. So we need to know how to do those things to make our own stuff. And that's what we've been doing, learning how to make our own stuff. Like I said, we make our own hair oils and body oils. I mean, you just learn how to do it. Like somebody's learning how to do it, so why not you, right? Just learn how to do those things. But we are so dependent upon corporations uh, doing everything for us. And I always talk about the century of the self. That's a documentary on Walter. Did you ever watch that? When I told you to watch it, the century of the self.
I think so. I did. It was some. It was long, wasn't it? The long one.
It's a 4-part series, so it's about 4 hours. Um, but it talks about how corporations came to be, through propaganda and just taking control away from the consumer and making them, I guess, be dependent upon corporations to do things. And one of the examples that it gave is back in the day before Betty Crocker came along, women would bake their cakes from scratch, right? They just knew how to do it. Like it's just they didn't even measure. They just threw some stuff in. Like I watched both of my grandmas make cakes that way. And so what happened was Betty Crocker came along and they said, "Hey, women," because it was women baking cakes back then. "Hey, women, I know your time is valuable. You got a lot of stuff to do. We've taken care of everything for you. All you got to do is open the package and crack open one egg and mix it around and put it in the oven, and then you've saved all of your time." So at first they said women were like, "Nah, we don't want to do that. I would never serve my family a box made cake." And then after a while, when it kept ramming that down their throats via commercials and just out of consumerism and capitalism, here we are. You go to the baking aisle and you see probably more box cakes than you would any other stuff, right? So it was all by design. So we have to learn how to undo those things. You also say, I've even learned how to make cough medicine. Interesting. So that's the I know somebody who can make cough medicine too. It's the I just slipped my mind. Um, it's the mentholatum or something like that in there. They call it. I forget the name of it, but I'm sure you'll tell me. And Ali says there is such a thing as biracial. Is the child is mixed with black. You are black. You are bicultural. Okay. King of Sorrows, he says, with all the bank shutdowns and murders, should we be more mindful of our 401ks or just wait and watch the climate? Oh, I know Walter got something to say about those 401ks. Remember that question? Stacey says, I use coconut oil in my hair. Yeah, you can do that too. Hello, Beverly. How you doing? And Kenneth, how are you? Says Demetra has that natural. Oh, thank you so much, baby soft skin. I work at it. It's drinking a lot of water, and some of it is genetics, and there's a lot of oil on my face, and I sweat a lot. Let's see here. She says, Lord, yeah, Walter and this doggone oils. Just let's see. Dorothy says, I'm going to start making my own soap pretty soon. See, I would love to learn how to do that. I like natural soaps. I love natural soaps, bar soaps. Black America says the trees get very expensive because of the amount of water needed. And almond tree are the worst. You know what? I did hear that some of those trees, nut trees, if you will, do take a lot of water. And Pearl, says I use peroxide for brushing my teeth, healthy gums, and for deodorant. You know, I was using peroxide and baking soda for a while, but then I started getting this really weird, like taste in my mouth. And then I figured out that's what it was. So that's why I switched over to the neem. So I don't know if the baking soda and peroxide was kind of breaking down my taste buds or something. So I had to stop that. So yeah, the neem works really well. And it, from what I understand too, it helps with cavities. So I'm not one to have a lot of cavities. I've had 3 in my whole life, very small ones. Once when I went vegan, and 2 at the same time when I got pregnant with my daughter. So let's see here. Thunder says my man Walter got a 5-gallon tub. Yeah, I hope he ain't cooking with that same tub of oil.
No, that's just the cooking coconut oil. I have a separate one upstairs for my hair and nails and my feet. You know, that's different. And I don't know why y'all act so embarrassed over coconut oil. And man, I'm telling you, coconut oil can change the mood. You can use it for massage. It ain't just gotta be the freak juice. You can use it for all kinds of things. I mean, you put oil in your car. I'm gonna leave it at that. Hey, I mean, each his own. I'm just saying.
El Boogie. So it's probably not it's probably not menthol. That's why I said let me shut up. Because I've had homemade cough medicine before. It sounds like I need some now. It sounds like Wheezy from the Jeffersons. So it's probably not menthol. Dorothy, what is it? Because I'm messing up the rotation here. So Stacy, you make some good soap. You should probably sell it because I love natural soap. LB says that's all business models, saving someone else's time. Yeah, and that's how they duped us all, right? So a lot of people go through restaurants now. Oh, I don't feel like cooking. We'll go through a restaurant and spend a load of money on and wasteful, right? So yeah, it's all about time, saving your time. But if you prepare right, you can save yourself time. Just like my daughter, I'll be honest with you, she does most of the cooking nowadays. But she made all the salmon on Sunday, and we ate the last of it today with a salad or whatever. So you just got to prepare, right? And I saw some people saying about eating organic. Yeah, you kind of want to make sure your meat is not coming from somewhere suspect, right? So yeah, there's ways you can eat healthier. But yeah, you gotta prepare. I'm not one that even like to eat out at restaurants like that. And Honeydew says last time I checked, he says you were black from one drop. All this other biracial talk is conjecture to the fact of the Constitution one drop rule. Yeah, I read the same thing. One drop and that's it. Ollie says the radical sister just did a show on making natural soap. I'm gonna have to check her out. Dorothy says Black Panther Party was feeding the community, caring for the community. They got rid of them and made a free lunch program and food stamps. They don't want us to be self-sufficient. Yep, you're absolutely right. That's where they said the free lunch program and the WIC program actually came from, was the Black Panther Party. But they got rid of them, as you said. Pearl says a peroxide use 1/3 peroxide and 2/3 water. Gargle brush teeth sprayed directly under arms. Peroxide must be diluted. You know what else is good is limes. Limes are very good deodorant. I like limes too. I'm just lazy. Like I don't like to have to be cutting them up every day and stuff. So I found a really good natural deodorant. It's actually crystal, but it's in like a softer form. But yeah, limes are really good too. And Honeydew says, I'm not dismissing other cultures' influences, but we need to change the mess this government have created. If we could try, right? Yeah, brother Reggie Walter, nasty, some damn freak juice. And Thunder says, Walter, get a small dish with a stand and tea like candles to warm it up. And you won't, if you want to add some aromatic, so you can do that with coconut oil. I think that's what he's saying.
Yeah, I got a my coconut oil spray. It sits in the heater, so it stays hot all the time. I never thought about putting eucalyptus in it. I don't know if that's gonna work. I don't want to
Yeah,
walk
that might be too
eucalyptus on
painful
my
for
skin.
somebody. That might be too painful for some eucalyptus.
No, I'm just I don't want it on me. But no,
Oh,
I do. They do make a little heater. You can slide it in, and so you can keep it warm. I mean, I don't know what using warm coconut oil does for your skin, but I do have something like that. So, and a lot of these fragrances really are good for you. You'd be surprised if you take a shower with eucalyptus or you have your room coated in that stuff. It does help you. I know when I walk into my shower, or if I walk into my room, I know it helps me a lot just by having, just being able to smell that. That's why they use it in a spa. Also, if you go to www.lyt.one, you can get you a eucalyptus and a lavender candle. We make them here. This company is black owned. Everybody else is mixed, but it's black from the top. So we can get you a eucalyptus candle. Matter of fact, if you do go to my site, and you should, we are talking about supporting black people. Here you go. I need your support. Right. So
I'll be there in a couple of weeks. So I'm gonna plan to take a bunch of candles with me. I got a sample product, man. I want one of each.
no, the product works fine. I don't need no more samplers. I need some payers.
I got to be the judge of that, okay?
Shit, I'm through with that part of it. That part is over. Trust me, they work. These candles burn 40 hours.
Listen, brother, I'm gonna leave a little bit
Right.
of room. I'm gonna leave a little bit of room in my bag, okay? Because I'm flying Spirit, so I'm not taking no a bag up under the plane.
Yeah, you can you take them with you.
Yes, I can. I'm gonna leave some room in my bag. I'm coming up out of there with some candles.
Yeah, Spirit, huh? The actually Spirit, they getting their stuff together. I gotta give it to them.
Hey, Spirit was number 2 on the best airlines to fly. Number 2 up under was it Delta or United? One of them.
Yeah,
We came in at number 2. Spirit.
I was actually surprised to see Spirit on that list.
I'm a card carrying member of Spirit, and like I said, y'all can hate on Spirit if you want, but it's cheap. I've arrived alive every time. I haven't seen anything, too ratchet. Last time I flew Spirit, I went to New Orleans for my birthday, and they actually was having the what's the pink and green, the AKAs. They were having their convention in New Orleans, and do y'all know how many AKAs was on Spirit? So don't let people fool you. It's an affordable airline. It works fine.
No, Spirit is cool. I flew it once. I don't like that they don't have seats. You sit on aluminum trays, but for a short flight, I guess it's cool.
Yeah, and they're usually short flights, so I ain't tripping. Shoot. Uh,
Hey, saving money is saving money. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
uh-huh. And let's see. Who else? Thundy says a softer form of deodorant like you stupid. Tussie. My grand Walter, remember Katie used to wear Tussie deodorant?
Oh
That's
Lord, mercy.
triple OG deodorant. It's the Tussie. She had the kind in the can in the jar, and either she wipe it under her arms or whatever. Yeah, that's an old school deodorant right there. I ain't no telling what's up in there though. It's probably all kind of formaldehyde, all kind of stuff up in Tussie. So, but yeah, that was old school.
I saw somebody had a banking question earlier.
Oh, what's some good stocks?
Well, it was that and somebody was so what I'm doing right now
Oh,
is
401k. It's a good time to bring out take what they should they do with the 401k.
yes, and these candles burn 40 hours if you manage them properly, and I'll get to that question. How you supposed to light a candle is you keep it cut to a quarter inch and you burn it, and then after you burn it, you cut it down to a quarter inch. It will last for 40 hours. Trust me. I know I've had plenty of them light up. If you go to my website, we got the 14 ounce and the 10 ounce, right? So
Wait, hold on. Let me address this, Kenneth. You said Spirit and Frontier announced plans to merge in February. I hope they don't, because if they merge with Frontier, I'm out of there. I rode Frontier. The last time I rode Frontier, I threw up. Plus, I think I was sick too. But I was on the back of the plane, and there was so much turbulence. I don't know if I ever told y'all this story. It was December on the back of the plane, and it was just turbulence everywhere, right? So I felt it coming up, and I was like, "Oh my God, I can't throw up on this plane. I can't throw up on this plane." Plus, I was sitting next to a sister, and I didn't want to throw up next to her because she probably was going to freak out or whatever. So I was like, okay, let me get up. If it's gonna go down, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I thought I was running to the bathroom, and it wasn't the bathroom. It was the stewardess galley, and it was a very, as my nephew would say, very fashionably involved stewardess back there. And he had the coffee pot, and he was talking to another one. And I stood at the doorway, and I went.
That's funny.
And then the man was like, he got in the corner, he was like, ah, ah, ah. And so the lady was like, okay, just sit down. You're gonna be okay. Just sit down. And then she finally gave me a bag and all of that. But yeah, I would never ride Frontier again. It jacked me up. But continue on with the stocks of the day.
So one thing I'm doing right now. One thing I will do is during earnings seasons, which comes every 3 months, is I will just on CNBC and Bloomberg. You can even Google company earnings, who's releasing earnings, and like a lot of these channels will tell you like today Disney announced earnings, and I said I was going to short Disney. I didn't because Disney's one of those stocks that could go either way, but you could short, when the earnings come out, you can bet with stock options, are they going to hit earnings or are they going to miss? And you can, a lot of times the analysts will be right. So I'll follow a lot of the analysts. And another thing that I trade is called the VIX, VIX. It's a fear indicator that when the stock market, it trades with the S&P. So when the S&P is super volatile, especially when it's going down really hard, the VIX moves up. So the VIX, lately it's been around 16 to 20 bucks. So I might spend 50 cents, a dollar buying a stock option, betting on a direction of the VIX. So if the VIX is trading at 16 and spend a dollar to buy the VIX at 18 and it moves to 20, I get to keep the $2 over 18 plus whatever time is left because time is money. So trading the VIX is a way to trade against the whole market without really having to worry about stocks. And it's something you could do. You could watch the VIX every day. You could learn about it. You could YouTube it. And you could just trade that one thing. Right. And so that's something that I'll do when, just to kind of stay in the market. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm looking for some banks to short because a lot of these regional banks own commercial real estate paper, and commercial real estate is falling by the wayside. I mean, like commercial buildings, office spaces, people aren't going back to work. They have these loans. A quarter of commercial real estate loans are due in 2023. So when they refinance those loans, they're going to refinance into a higher rate. And these banks are stuck with this paper. So a lot of those commercial companies that borrowed this money will just walk away from these loans. And these regional banks are the ones stuck holding the paper, and they have to write that off, hence bringing their value down. And, and this is where the bank collapse is coming. That's what happened with SVB. Well, they bought bonds. Bond prices and interest rates move in different directions. So if you buy a bond and the interest rates go up, the bond prices come down. And if you're using that asset base to value your company, obviously it's going to be worth less. So I spend a lot of time just watching the stock market channels. Even if it's just in the background, I just watch it because my brain once in a while will pick up, oh, I should be doing that. Even if 90% of the stuff they're saying doesn't pertain to me, I still leave it in the background because all that stuff is coming in my mind. We have a debt ceiling right now that's, in a couple weeks, we're about to find out what's happening with the debt limit, the ceiling. You have Donald Trump, Joe Biden, everybody's in the news. I mean, it's about to get really, really crappy for the world financially. I mean, seriously, this is the best time to be stacking your money and just waiting for opportunities. Commercial real estate, yeah, I wouldn't buy it personally right now. Even you look at some of these companies, they're laying off. People like Novartis, the COVID company, laid off 25% of their workforce yesterday. I mean, these companies with AI, they're starting to lay off. So commercial real estate's taking a bath. Now, if you're in an area, and I'm going to say this again, if you're in an area where you see a lot of commercial real estate, like office buildings that are open, those could be good conversions to real estate. A lot in downtown LA, they took all that commercial real estate and turned it into properties like they did in Atlanta. So if you have those properties in your area, especially if you're outside of California, you may want to consider approaching the owner or the city about converting those into condos. That's very popular. That's forward thinking, something you got to keep your ear to the street, but it's something to keep in mind. And then if you don't own real estate right now, I would put your energy towards owning it. I know the rates are high, but you want to be ready to pull the trigger, because once rates drop, you're going to be fighting everybody again. Like if you tried to buy a house in 2022, what was that like? You know, it was madness. So you want to be ready. Even if you own a piece of property like me right now, I'm looking for some fourplexes, because you could buy it under a residential loan, which allows you to put 3.5%, 5% down on 4 buildings. You live in one, let the other 3 pay for the whole building, and then you keep the profit and you live for free. Now, how long you stay in that 4th unit is totally up to you. I'm not a real estate god, but I know a lot of people that buy fourplex and then they move out and they rent it out. That ain't what you're really supposed to do, but I know a lot of people do it. Or what they may do is they may Airbnb that unit. That way, it is paying them an income stream. Now you have 4 units that are paying you. So there's several ways to go about it, but you want to own something. That just gives you so much power. To just the fact that you own something. You always have a place to go, right? Doesn't matter. What's that say? I just came off. What? All right. I just came. What? Just
Is it
came.
Maxima? How you doing? He says, just came in off the title. What brothers? And if some are, who are the ones nutty enough to be mad that they didn't help in getting either of them pregnant?
Are we talking about the brat again? Well, I don't know. She want to have a baby, cool. Go do it. But here's my beef with the alphabet community. If you want to do your ABCs, just do them. Do we have to sing it? That's like me walking down the street. I'm a black man. Hey, I'm a black man. Hey, Mike, Mike, Mike. Remember that camel commercial? It's a hump day. I'm a black man. Like, shit. Okay. I have a lot of gay friends. I do. I travel with 2 gay dudes. I mean, I ain't just me and them.
I'm about to say.
Yeah, no.
Right.
Anyway, long
Okay.
story. We traveled as couples. And you know what? They don't ever talk about, hey, Walter, did you realize I'm gay? It's just they minding their business. Why do we have to keep throwing it out there? Hold on, hey, I'm gay. Good, great, congratulations. Keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, damn.
And I would say that too. I know gay people, whatever, and it's not ever like a conversation like, so how's your gay day going? It's just like regular people, and I don't know. I think like one of the other misnomers, and I kind of want to just dispel this too, uh, is a lot of people will say gay people are nefarious, right? They're doing something evil. Don't leave your children around gay people and all this other stuff. And I'm like, not that I've ever been gay, but it's not about just sex. It's something other. It's a lot of other things, right? And I just impress upon us to really educate ourselves, because whether we like it or not, gay people aren't going nowhere. Just like a lot of the people ain't going nowhere. Um,
And a lot of gay people don't even want you to know they're gay.
or it's like, but like you said, it's not this constant conversation. Hey, I'm gay. Let's go get some coffee. Hey, it's not. It's just like, so what, right? We're people. We're doing our thing or whatever. Now, the problem that I do have, not even necessarily with that community, but anybody who just doing too much. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, you gay. So what? Let's move on. You know what I mean? But it's like certain people, not even just gay people, but they want to make it everybody's issues. Like, that's your issue. I mean, some of the coolest people I know are gay. Not that they wouldn't be because they're gay, but I'm just saying, it's, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. It's not even one of those things to where I'm like, oh, they're gay. Let me stay away from them. Or here comes, gay Barbara again. I don't know. I don't even like trip off of it like that at all. I don't know. That's just me. Honeydew, he says, laugh out loud. Philly got it. Airbnb above a nail salon. So it's true. The grind is available. There's always a way. I wonder if they get the chemicals, that come up there or whatever. But yeah, I stayed in a lot of Airbnbs. Typically, though, now I don't really like to do it much because it's kind of hit and miss, opposed to staying in a hotel, and some of those ain't that much better. I don't know, but it just seemed like you have less of the bureaucracy in a hotel than you do with an Airbnb. We're getting ready to travel overseas in August. Donovan, myself, and Donovan. Did I say Donovan twice? My daughter, myself, and Donovan, I think is what I meant. And we're going to stay in an Airbnb. So we're going to try it out. Usually it's cheaper. So we're going to see. But yeah, some interesting Airbnbs out there. But of course, she said, don't do it. You got too much to live for. Who are you talking to? Arnie, but if I didn't already, how you doing? It says, yeah, she could have kept all the information to herself. Maybe she wants us to get pissed off or something. I think she was asked about it and was on her reality show. I guess her and her wife got a reality show, and that's how it came about. So I don't know how much they're running around talking about. I would have kept that to myself. There's a lot of things I wouldn't be out there in the open, because like somebody said, I think it was Easy that said it. Like, if you don't want people to talk about it, then don't talk about it in public, because that, especially today's age, people talk about everything that ain't their business, right? I don't know if y'all seen on YouTube and all that lately. Steve Harvey and Marjorie Harvey, they a topic because I guess Marjorie's ex-husband wrote a tell-all book. They got all these blogs talking about Steve and Marjorie again, and Steve was like, I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn what y'all say about me. He said there's people on blogs that ain't got the money I got, that ain't got nothing else going on in their life to talk about me. He says, I don't give a damn. But the point that I'm making is people put stuff out there and we just talk about it. Like, we just get overly involved in other people's lives. Like I said about this whole Brat thing, I don't really even know what her and Judy are doing, because I don't try to make it a point. Somebody brought this to me and I said, okay, great, I'll talk about it. That's really how that happened.
I didn't realize Brat was still alive, and I have no idea who Judy was.
Was she supposed to be dead?
I'm just saying, I think, what has she done? I mean,
she's on Ricky Smiley morning show. Come on now, y'all know the Brat has been in the game a very long time.
But
I don't know.
Here's the point I'm making. Why is she even news?
Huh?
Why is she even? I mean, okay, sometimes news. I mean, it's cool to stop and like. Sometimes I'll go to Google. Google will say something like Brad Pitt or Will Smith, and I'll browse through it, which is a complete waste of time because Brad Pitt don't give a damn what I think, and Will Smith could care less what I think about Jada. I know when I click on that shit, it's gonna be a waste of my time and time I ain't gonna get back because I know Jada and Will Smith are having issues. It don't make my day any better. What it does, it makes me poor because I spend that time I could be doing something else. Now, for entertainment purposes, yeah, it's cool to once in a while, just like you watch a scary movie on Netflix, you want to hear about Will and Jada. Okay, but don't make it a day. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Brat is cool, but like, once you start worrying about working on your life, unless you do this like for a living, like if you're running a podcast and you have to know current events. But some of y'all ain't running a podcast and y'all know more about some of these celebrities than they spouses.
And like I said, because I do this for a living, I have to know about certain things, but sometimes I'm like, do I have to? Because I'm not really all that invested in, like, I don't really do the gossip stuff at all. Some of it, like Walter said, is entertaining. It's like, oh, okay, hee ha ha, or really, but it's not enough for me to, make that's all that I do. And delving into people's lives and then, doing exposés, and that's to me that seems like very toxic behavior. So Walter Thunder wants to know, which airlines would you recommend investing in?
I don't know. I'm not investing in any of the airlines right now. I don't know. It's so. Airline prices are high. They're doing well. And there's some of their stock prices are starting to reflect that. I just don't know how long that's going to last because sooner or later, this stuff is going to cool. I mean, the economy is slowing down. It is all the time. So I don't know. I'm not really into the airlines. I mean, what I would probably do, in the next couple months is I'd probably short the airlines. I think that would is something I would do because sooner or later some of these companies are starting to fall. Like Airbnb got killed. Their stock price is down like tremendously because they missed earnings. Airbnb is a travel related stock. I really think that some of those other companies, leisure companies, are going to fall behind because I know for a fact when I sold my lake house, I know that it was starting to slow down. It was one of the reasons I sold it. It was starting to slow down. I noticed the bookies weren't as heavy. So, what was that question? Two questions before. Um, I don't know. Not
Um,
this one. The one before that. The one before that.
401k.
Is that what it was? Oh. Well, if you have money in the 401k, it really depends on how old you are. If you don't need that money for 10, 15 years, what I would probably do is put it in, they have some diversified portfolios you can leave it in because the mutual fund manager is investing for you already. So pick a fund maybe that has a time horizon. If you don't need to touch that money, until 2035, then maybe you can invest in a 2035 fund. Me, I like value companies, value mutual funds, value stocks because they tend to buy companies that are already cheap, that have good fundamentals, and they'll invest in those. So value companies, value stock mutual funds tend to do well historically. And because they're already beaten up, they don't have the volatility of a growth stock. They call them dogs of the Dow. Basically, like you take the Dow Jones and you take the worst performing stocks, or you take the highest yielding stocks, companies that pay dividends. So if a company is trading at $100 and it's paying $1, then it's paying a 1% dividend. But if it's, let's say that stock price went down to $50 and it's still paying $1, you know what I'm saying? Now the dividend has increased. Does that make sense? Now it's paying a 2% dividend. Same company, same dividend. Stock price is just down. So you're getting twice the dividend owning the same stock. And then when that company rebounds and appreciates, then you have that stock that's gone up, and then you still have the dividend because your cost basis is only the $50. So I would look, and you guys, this stuff takes work. It just does. It takes work for you. Some people say, "Oh, Walter, this is over my head." Well, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be over your head. This is the stuff you should be doing. Right now, Joe Biden and them are doing things that's going to affect your future.
Let me ask you this. I saw a study or a report somewhere that says that Black people are now using the buy now pay later apps more and more, just to do things like buy groceries. So what are the buy now pay later, like your Klarna, PayPal, even, and some other stuff like you can break up the payments in four installment. I guess they're installment payments type of thing. What do you think about that?
I've seen the app, the Affirm. I mean, I used it once just to test it out. I mean, it was on something like $200. I just used it to see how it worked. But the fact that we're doing that it's I mean, sooner or later, if you start borrowing money to do everything, it's going to catch up to you. I mean, we just have to be more focused on, like Black people. If you spent as much time as you do in church and standing there in the zoot suit, you spent that much time. Like, what if you spent 3 hours a week just studying finance, the market, cash flow, investment strategies, real estate? Hey man, how's it going? What are you doing today? I'm thinking about buying some real estate. Do you want to go in with me? Hey girl, how you doing? I'm thinking about buying real estate. Do you want to go in with me? Spend 3 hours a week doing that. And sooner or later, your mindset will change. And then you'll do better. And I don't know. I just feel like Black people we bought the narrative that we need the government's help, that we're not capable. It's total bullshit. That's one of the reasons why I bought this shirt that y'all love so much. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna walk up to AME Baptist Church. I'm gonna walk in there and sit right up front. I'm gonna turn around and say, "How y'all doing?"
Oh no, no, you can't come up in here, young man. No.
You know what I'm saying? I got my Trump 2.0. But what if we just focused on the money? I mean, I don't, Donald Trump, Joe Biden, they're both, in my opinion, neither one of them really care that much about anybody else but themselves. Right? And at the end of the day, we can learn a lot from those two. Take care. Thou that gives a shirt off his back shall be naked. You can go to verbalherb.com and get this shirt. Right? It's also black owned. I could use your help. Actually, I don't want your help. I want to trade you a product for $1. Fair exchange is no robbery. So spend more time working on you, like 3 hours a week. That's it. Just focusing on the money. How do I build my credit? How do I build my wealth? Like you can go, they have apps like Experian.com. They have a couple cool apps. You can check your credit every day. I check my credit every single day. Every day.
Every day?
Every day I check my credit. I get an email from Experian. Every time I spend money at the bank, a large deposit, a large expense, every time a credit card goes up or down, Experian, I get an email from Experian almost every day. I check my credit, right? Because that is the pulse of your financial life. So you should check it. I guarantee you, if we focus, like, and I'm not saying don't go to church, I'm just saying give it the same amount of time. Because we, as Black people, and I hate talking to us sometimes, I'll say something, and I had to cut one of my friends off at the knees. I go, man, I'm trying to get money and get rich. He goes, I'm rich in the Lord. I said, delete, click, you dumb mother. Like, stop hitting me with that shit. Every time I talk about doing better, y'all talk about I'm rich in the Lord. No, you ain't. You're not. You're broke as shit, and you're praying for a miracle instead of doing something about it. That's an excuse not to do shit. Oh, I'm praying for a miracle. No, you're not. It ain't happening, brother.
I'm rich in the Lord. Hey, Dr. Matthews, how you doing? I'm rich in the Lord.
Like, come on now. We are rich in the Lord. He loves all of us. Matter of fact, I would beg to say that the Lord is probably more interested in the pimps, prostitutes, and hoes. Ain't that what it says in the Bible? I don't need to hang out with the saved. Where the hoes at? So, okay, maybe he didn't say it that way.
You know what? It's funny. Not funny, but one time back in the day, one of my coworkers, the older guy, he was this big time religious guy, right? He was always talking the Bible, smoking the cigarettes and stuff. And, you know, I was young and not very knowledgeable at the time, in my young 20s. He says, Jesus is in the strip club too. And I'm like, I don't know about that one. I said, I don't think Jesus is going to be in the strip club. He goes, yeah, he wants to be where the people need to be saved. But I guess because I was like young 20s, I'm like, would Jesus really be in the strip club? But now that I got a little bit more knowledge, I got where he was going with that, right? Like you said, he's not really interested in hanging out with the saved because I guess they kind of got it. He wants to get with the people who need to be in that condition. But yeah, he said that Jesus was in the strip club. And I was like, okay, if you say so. Let's see here. Y'all talking about the Brat. Dorothy says, I've been looking into foreign investments. This country's currency is a mess. Yeah, I saw you talking about BRICS, and you said that Mexico is joining as well. Some other countries are trying to join too. I saw where Kamala was like, oh, we won't allow them to do that. It's like, I don't think they asked your permission. I think they just kind of doing it. Dr. Matthews says, need to have your financial house in order. You got to. You got to. In all shapes and forms, because you just never know. You never know when something will come up and you don't have you. Because when you have a financial emergency, that'll remind you that your financial house is not in order, right? So yeah, just save your money, spend it wisely. You know, I don't want to say it's that simple, but it kind of is, right? Arnie says, rich in the Lord being equals being the Lord. Yeah, I guess you can look at it that way. Dorothy says, if you don't work, you don't eat. God is not mocked. Absolutely. Says a man does not put his hands to the plow is not fit to live. So basically, if you will not work, you ain't fit to live. You're lazy. You're making a bunch of excuses. Like get out there and make it do something. That's why I made the post today. I was talking to my daughter, and what I say, money don't sleep, but people do, and that's why they're broke. You know what I mean? Because people are just kind of making excuses. They sleep at the wheel, and that was speaking physically and metaphorically. Some people like to sleep all day long. Time I ain't got no money. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And some people are asleep mentally. Today, my daughter and I, it was raining like cats and dogs here, right? So it stopped raining. So it's like, okay, let's go out to the park. Let's get a run in. But it started to rain again. So it's like, okay, let's go to Five and Below and spend some money we shouldn't be spending. But on the way there, I saw a lady on the corner with her daughter selling flowers, and it looked like it was going to rain any minute. I saw a man out there panhandling, and I'm like, damn, that's gangster. These people out here hustling between the raindrops. You know what I mean? And it really makes me think, how bad do you really want it? Because there's a lot of people who like, nah, it's raining today. I ain't going to do nothing. But those people are like, it ain't raining right now. You know what I mean? When the raindrops start to dropping, then I'll pick up my flowers and I'll go back in the house. But it really spoke to me, and it really made me want to drive even harder, because it's like this lady's out there literally with her little daughter selling roses and flowers and stuff. And I'm like, but look how many people wouldn't even do that. I'll wait till it's a completely sunny day to think about doing something. And she's like, nah, come on, little daughter. We got to make some money. So it's all about the hustle, hustling between the raindrops. It was amazing to see. And Candace says, my daddy used to preach this to us as teenagers. Yeah. And that's what we need to start doing, teaching our children. Don't wait till they come and say, Mama, I need a loan. Daddy, can you loan me some money? It's because we didn't teach those principles to them when they were younger, right? So you're right. We got to start very young, teaching them financial literacy. Let's see here. Honeydew, you says, many of these gay guys are delusional, and they work amongst you when you are in their home and have real conversation and see the goings on and all, a real ethical dilemma. Nothing reportable, but yeah, I mean, I don't know if you're maybe a social worker or something like that, but we know statistically speaking, it's more straight people doing the harming of the children than it is gay people. I think they just get an unfair stigma because people try to tie other stuff to them, but more straight people are more of a danger to children than a lot of people. So Candace say, y'all need to watch these other countries merging currencies because they're trying to distract us with Trump and DeSantis. Yeah, but a lot of other countries are like, that dollar ain't gonna be worth nothing. Of course, y'all know what happened to Muammar Gaddafi. He was moving away from the dollar. He told all the African nations, let's use this gold. He was trying to unite all the African nations. And then the United States, the Obama administration, went in there and murdered Gaddafi, talking about it was a humanitarian crisis, right? He's being evil to his people. But now nobody ever talks about the destabilization of their government and how they have real human trafficking, sex trafficking, and real full-on slavery going on in Libya due to what the United States government did to Gaddafi. So he was trying. So a lot of these other nations are really just trying to carry on what he was trying to do and getting away from the dollar. So United States say they ain't having it, but don't sound like they really have a choice. You got what, China, was it Britain, South Africa, India? Sounds like Mexico is now in there. Russia. So those are some pretty heavy hitters to be talking about. We ain't gonna tolerate it. You know what I mean? But I hear what you're saying. Trump and DeSantis, yeah, they a trip, especially DeSantis.
Let me say something about Trump really quick.
Sure.
I ain't gonna put my shirt on. I'm gonna hang it out. You know you love that. Listen, let me ask you guys a question, and this goes for all races. Donald Trump is leading Joe Biden in the polls. This dude lost a civil suit of $5 million yesterday. Was civilly, I guess the lady was rewarded, I guess, sexual assault. I don't know what that means.
What did they label it? It was, I guess maybe it was something watered down.
Yeah, like sexual assault. He probably slapped on the ass or said something to her. Donald Trump, like, are we really surprised right now that this dude 30 years ago said something to some chick? That's
I don't even remember that. He said, I don't even know who that lady is.
He probably meant, I'm telling you, I was in a room with Donald Trump at a convention center, and I walked up because he was taking questions, and the girl, I didn't get to talk to him, but the girl in front of me asked the question, and he goes, in a room, Susie Orman, everybody was there. He goes, "Do all the girls in California have big breasts like that?" He said that at a convention, and this was like not that long ago, and he said everywhere he goes. He told me, I told my banker, "Fuck you, I ain't paying you." Click. I mean, it's a Donald the sleazeball Trump. That the brother they got to prosecute this dude, another distraction for black people. All the shit Donald Trump is going through, and he's still whooping Joe Biden's ass in the polls. Don't that tell you something? And you know who that is, you guys? That is minorities voting, turning the corner. Because we've been under, if you look at states that are ran by Democrats, they are the worst states, the worst cities in the world. Chicago, I can go on and on and on. They are ran by liberal Democrats. They are shit towns. And some of these black people are now saying, you know what? We tried to swing low, sweet chariot. We're going to put a V8 in this chariot, put some fat ass tires on it. We're going to step on the gas. That's what we need to do. You know what I'm saying? And no, Trump didn't testify. Of course not. He don't need to. Would you testify some shit 30 years ago? I can't tell you what I did 10 years ago. Somebody's like, "Oh, do you remember that time?" No, I don't. There's some shit I said to my girlfriend I don't remember. She's like, "You said this." I was like, "No, I didn't." You know what I'm saying? Like, my daughter Brittany called me and said, "Do you remember?" I was like, "No, I don't remember." And here's the cool thing about Trump. He's a sleazeball. But at least he's honest about it. Like, do not, and here's the thing that kills him with black people, is we loved Donald Trump until he ran for office. We watched The Apprentice. Like, black, I don't know no black people, any black people that have not seen the episode of The Apprentice. If you got the Trump card, boom, game is over. I don't know how many rappers talk about Trump in their rhymes. All of a sudden, the dude runs for office, and now black people, we can't like him. That is that liberal thinking. Yeah, Donald Trump is the leader of the sleazeballs or whatever you said. I agree with you. Donald Trump is not a hero. And that's the problem. We make Joe Biden, oh, he's the hero. He said in his own words, "I'm the one that wrote the damn crime bill." And black people, "Here I come to save." Like, come on now. I would rather have a neighbor that was like, "Hey, nigger, can't wait to hang you. I know what he's about." Versus my name, "Hey, young black man," and he got a knife behind his back. Like, show me where my enemies are. I want to know where they at. But here's one thing I do like about, like, when I started making money and caring about my family, like when I got married, because I had kids out of wedlock. I had 3 kids before I got married. Actually, technically, I had 4, right? But when I started thinking like a conservative, like I should raise my family, I should be in their life, I should probably go get a job. I started leaning toward being more conservative. I don't hear that from the liberals. I don't hear that from the left. Go out, get your ass up, wake up early, get a job, shut the fuck up. And Obama tried to say that, and black people ate his ass up. Kim Kardashian tried to say that. They ate her ass up. Bill Cosby, they ate his ass up. Every time somebody says, "Just wake up and get to work," I promise you the majority of your problems are geared to the fact that you don't get up and do shit. I'm telling you, you wake up early, even if you suck at what you're trying to do. The fact that you're working on something makes you better. You only learn from, George Clooney says, you learn from losing, period. My strongest work ethic, my best character development came out of my disasters, period. So we just need to focus on that. And do we really care that Donald Trump is a piece of shit as a human being? Like, I heard Jamie Dimon say from Chase, D, I know that's your boy.
That ain't my boy.
He said, because they were like, he was like, should felons be able to vote? And he goes, and he was talking to Wall Street. He goes, if some of y'all got caught doing the shit y'all do, y'all wouldn't be able to. He's talking to his buddies in Wall Street. I'm not talking about Martha Stewart, the lady that the distraction, they gave her time for like doing some shit they all do. So we get stuck on that stuff. Instead
And
of,
Chase was a couple of years ago. They got caught with having some kilos on cargo ships.
they steal the money bank. They're still trying to make money. So when you start taking control, like when I started to become a conservative, I wake up and say, it's up to me. Joe Biden is not like, think about this. Joe Biden, if we're talking about race and helping out the race, what has he done for black people? Like, seriously, I know he ran on it. Oh, I'm going to help you. Oh, black. Nothing. Nada. We had a black female, and black vice president. What the hell is she doing? Is she coming out and saying, hey, black people, here's how you behave. Here's how you move. Here's how you operate. None of that.
In fact, Kamala, the Democrats didn't even want her to run, and they said it would have been the first time in history that they would have replaced a vice president on any side. But of course, that wouldn't have looked back because there's a lot of black people that still like Kamala, but many have challenged her and said she's done nothing. Her whole vice presidency, the times that they sent her out there, she dropped the ball. In fact, they call her, the vice president who giggles, right? Who giggles and jiggles and, and wiggles. She can't answer a question. They tested her out on the southern border when they asked her about immigration or how to stop it. And she was like, well, so, the point that I'm making is Kamala is who we always knew her to be. And that was a pawn of the Democratic Party. They knew what to get to get black people. Because if you follow Kamala's career, especially when she was seeking higher office in the White House, she completely bombed as she was running to be a presidential candidate. Because people in California already know about Kamala. And in fact, her campaign went bankrupt. I mean, it was just horrible, right? Even they say about Kamala in the White House that many of her staffers have quit. It says she's a tyrant. She's horrible to work for and all of that stuff. So, I mean, Kamala was just being used by the Democratic Party. But, of course, they put her back on the ticket. And not too many people, including Democrats, are in love with Joe Biden or Kamala, which is probably why you see Trump leading in the polls, because a lot of people, too, they're watching as some people say, the witch hunt with the DA in New York, Alvin Bragg. And I agree, it's a witch hunt. I mean, the man bought some punani before he ran for presidency, outside of his marriage. That's between him and Melania. They caught him up on lying. But if you remember, Bill Clinton kind of got caught with the same thing. He was impeached as well,
And that's where liberals get amnesia. Bill Clinton not only lied while he was okay, think about this. Donald Trump, who we agree is a sleazeball, got some booty in a consensual arrangement. Consensual, I call it consensual booty. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna need you to consent to the coconut oil. Like, it was some shit like that. And you come back 20 years later and use it against me versus Bill Clinton was in office getting a blowjob from his intern.
And she was legal, but young intern.
While he was president, lied about it. Then came out and had to confess to it. And you don't hear nothing about that. Bill Clinton could walk into a black church and it would be, give me a tambourine. I need a tambourine. Like, you know what I'm saying? It'd be only cracking. We forget shit like that. And at the end of the day, they are both douchebags. But who is going to make the country better? Where is the money? Give me the money and let me worry about everything else.
And Candace, what you say is true. We need real grassroots people. You should run for the governor of Texas. I totally agree. You need to be in a higher office. He says we need real grassroots people to run for office now, in my opinion. I agree with you, but we know it's the establishment, right? It's the status quo. And Joe Biden said that when he was running. They said, "Are you basically do anything different?" He said, "No, I'm gonna continue the status quo." So a lot of those, come on, think about it. Joe Biden will be 86 years old if he's reelected at the end of his second term. And you know why people are nervous as well? Because he is going to be 86 by the time his second term is over. You got Kamala there at the helm. If something happens to him, she gonna have to step in and make some real decisions, kind of, sort of. So people are like, no, we want Kamala at the helm if something happened to Joe Biden. I mean, he's very old. Let's just keep it real. I'm not saying he's gonna die, but sometimes when you look at Joe Biden, it's like, is he here? Does he know where he's at? So people are really concerned about that. And Kamala, they set her out there, and I think they set her up, to be honest, because I think they knew she was kind of slow a little bit when it comes to certain things. But I think they set her up so that way, if they weren't going to run her again, they could say, well, y'all see what she's capable of, But so now it kind of backfired on them too, because if Joe Biden does, then you got Kamala there. So there's some things to think about. But yeah, we need to start over. But they all in the fix. Like Walter said, people mad at Trump. Even a lot of those politicians was Trump homies. I think the Clintons was at one of Trump's weddings, and they all know each other. So it's this game they play with the rest of us to make us think that we should choose a side. But they're all in the same gang. It's called the money game. All of them. Joe Biden is a corporatist. He says, well, I'm going to get rid of some student loan debt. He never wanted to do that. It's a game they're playing with us, and to this day they haven't done any of it. Joe Biden is about the money. That's what he cares about. So it's all a big, giant game.
Yeah, he's not. The student loan thing is not going to happen. Number one, we have a debt issue. They're trying to raise the debt ceiling. You really think they're going to get student loans up in there? It ain't happening. It is not happening. So why don't we just focus on our own money? Hey, man, I want 50 on black.
Trey, it's been a long time.
Hey, how you doing? Everybody is always I get, because I have such a different dress style for a hood dude, everybody is always thrown off when I come. But you got to understand, I'm an international dude. I've been international since 19, so it is what it is. Yeah, long time. My friend Shirley Hussar passed. So she passed in January. So that kind of took me for a toll for some time. I had to reevaluate how I looked at things politically and so on and so forth. But I just wanted to jump in this great intellectual conversation and go all the way back to the whole, because I did scroll back. I didn't just pop in. I did scroll back. This whole thing about the situation with the Brat. What happens is, unfortunately, because like I'm having a surrogate child myself.
Okay.
What's happening, unfortunately, is like a lot of guys don't want to donate because of the legal things that come about after the fact when you're doing it non-company, and then some of these companies don't have the legal situation they need to stop lawsuits. One of the most famous ones was a guy that was sued by both LGBT ladies for financial support. That's a real thing.
I've heard about that.
Right. That's why I came up here, to give you another level of thinking, a different way of looking at this. Is that, I'm sorry, you were saying something? You're on mute.
You talking about child support?
I'm talking about the gentleman donated his sperm to an LGBT couple. That LGBT couple later split, and both ladies sued him for child support.
Oh, that's cold.
No. It's not cold. It's the way the game is. And unfortunately, what happens is, a lot of time, this is why I call myself Mr. Research. A lot of times people have this opinion, and it's not so much theoretical, it's more feelings. So the legal aspect of all this nonsense, if you don't have it right, just like the white guy that had all those multiple children, over half of those ladies sued him for child support. So this is a real thing, but please continue. Let's get into some political conversation. I love it.
Yeah, no. What are your thoughts? What were you talking about? I know this politics when it comes to black people, man, that's a tough subject. But we do need to address it.
Well, as you know, I'm a conservative, and I'm going to start putting myself more to the forefront in some of these conversations because I'm a patriarch as well. But I look at it from this standpoint. I'm understanding of everybody's situation. But how I toe the line is when one group is abusive to another group. That's not a good thing. Whether you're liberal, whether you're independent, whether you're conservative. Once you're abusive to another group, you're kind of overdoing it. Or in the case with us conservative, I'm an independent conservative, not a Republican conservative. But in the case with us conservative, when we're inconsistent on the policy as it stands, and we're telling a lie to the TV, that also is a problem. You know, I saw Roland Martin go head to head with a guy who claims he's on that side, and he could not articulate, and it made him look bad because he was stuck in the talking point. So I'm going to end by saying what we have to do as Black folks as a whole, because I'm from the hood, Oakland, California. What we have to do as a whole is be real precise and concise on what the policy is saying, not what the TV told us it said.
You are absolutely right. And you know what? Please come see us again. I'm shocked. I was like, what? He coming up here? Because I haven't seen you in a long time. So pleasantly surprised by that. But we're going to get out of here. But next time you have to come see us.
Okay. Real funny moment. I spelled my name phonically so you can get it right this time.
That's a running joke between us. Because the way it's really spelled, I would always jack it up. So I was like, okay, see la Trey. I got it. It's like, I don't know, in my mind I'm seeing it, but it doesn't come out of my mouth right.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna bow out, but please let me know behind the scenes how I can get you guys or one of you guys on my show. Mr. Research teaches politics for Black men. Just to go into some type of policy and what have you, because it's good for people to get a great understanding on how this stuff works. I'm not trying to be right. I'm just trying to give people a different way of thinking on these topics, whether it's police or auditing police. You look at the repeal that's happening in Texas now for possible no-fault divorce, Ronald Reagan's creation. There's a lot of things happen politically that we can discuss, and I would love to, break bread and have you guys on and get into some details.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can throw my email in the chat if you want to, and we can email this good. And then I wanted this last question. It's a good question. I mean, this actually could be a whole show. Condoleezza and Kamala. I think that would be a good. I would love to see Condoleezza Rice run, but I think she just enjoys her life and her peace of mind to run. She would be the perfect candidate for president. I mean, yeah, but she won't do it.
But it's
Colin
the same.
Powell either. Colin Powell won't run either.
It's the same. Yeah, I'm about to say it's the same problem we had with Colin Powell. Colin Powell should have ran. He had so much support, but for whatever reason, after that Dick Cheney fiasco, he he wanted to just go hide his face. And, most of us understood because you kind of look bad in front of the nation. But Condoleezza, she's a Stanford lady. She done did her thing. She got her accolades. She's like, she ain't true.
She's on a liberal coast. I mean, Stanford's on the West Coast. So the fact that she's so conservative, and I've heard Condoleezza Rice speak in person. You talk about inarticulate, the way she broke down the way we are to the rest of the world, like the way she discusses world politics was second to none. I mean, I don't think Black people will give her a chance because she is a Republican, and so they wash her out. But I've heard her speak. Now, she ain't perfect, and no one is.
But let me say this. A lot of people won't give her a chance because she's a Republican, but Condoleezza don't like Black people either. Y'all know when wait. Wait,
Well,
Mr.
now you
Research.
can't say
Wait,
how she don't like herself.
wait. Mr. Research is probably out of my league when it comes to this kind of stuff. But where was Condoleezza Rice during Katrina?
I don't know where she was. Probably doing what she was supposed to be doing. Isn't she Secretary of State?
Where was she?
She was not looking for none of that. See, here's the thing though. You got some people, especially on the Republican side, they are supporters for their life after politics, meaning that they put themselves in place to get certain things done for them and their family. And as soon as they got that done, peace out. They are not necessarily trying to help change anything. I said to some people, we got a lot of policies that white Republicans are mad at. And I always have to point out to white Republicans because I do go and speak for the hood, even though I'm conservative. And I said, well, most of those policies are Reaganite policies y'all came up with. If you never created them, NAFTA, right to work, you wouldn't have some of these problems. So why do they exist? We got the internet. Why do you need a NAFTA so that you don't have to pay tariffs? I thought it was all about pull up from your bootstraps. Yeah, I go into white spaces and have that conversation and get them to thinking like, well, yeah, that is right. Yeah, y'all created that. So Reagan created the first version. Clinton put it on steroids. What's the difference?
Yeah, so we should in the future debate some of this stuff. I see some people talking about Candace Owens, who I do not agree with a lot of what she says. I agree with most of what she says, but sometimes she'll be off the rails. You know, she's working for Prager, so we got to keep that in mind. They have an agenda. You know, most of the stuff she says is cool. You know, but I think we just took everybody and put all our ideas and just took the shitty ones and threw them out and came up with a narrative and says, okay, we need to further the plight of Black people. And we get to that point of going after each other. Jesus, I mean, because Black people, man, for instance, I made a joke about my son who's half white, right? But everything's still smart, everything's still there, but you always have to throw that race in there.
Why? You did that. Nobody else did that.
That's what I'm saying. I did it, but I'm saying I did it as a joke. But I mean, it still resonates with people.
Don't be joking with my nephew.
But see, let me run some interference for you though. Those of us 1980 and before, we have less of these divisive conversations because we know you might have been with a Black partner a white partner as a Black woman, but you fought for a lot of Black issues. Now that's confusing to a 1999 person because a 1999 person is just looking at the optics. They're not looking at end results. They're not looking at the Black woman with the white husband who has a track record of hiring several Black people in her 5-year tenure as supervisor. They're not looking at that. They're not questioning the Black person married to the Black person who ain't hired nobody in 5 years. They're only looking at the optics. Go ahead, Dimitri.
You know what? I totally agree with you on that because I hear this a lot about these conversations. Oh, such and such is not with a Black man. Such and such is not with a Black woman. They not for Black people. And I argue all day long. Now, I love Black men, okay? I just do, okay? So I'm just speaking about me. But I always...
excuse me, the workout is looking good. But go ahead.
I'll bring y'all more of that. No, I'm just playing. Let me calm down. So what I was saying was, there's Black people who are with Black people that ain't doing nothing for Black people. And I always say, you gotta be more than just Black, right? Well, I want a Black man. Great. What do you do? What does that do to help the rest of Black people? Because to your point, there are some Black people who are not with a Black spouse and they are whooping ass by helping Black people. And I always say to people, they could be doing other stuff. They don't have to be helping Black people, but that they are. Then we want to tear them down. But I always ask them, great, you got a Black spouse? What are y'all doing to elevate Black people? Crickets.
Yeah, like look at the boy Phil. I mean, look at all the work he's doing for Black people. The minute they found out he was dating a Mexican man, they wanted to blow up the shop, tear down Black Wall Street. Like,
well, and then Phil was with a Black lady at first, and it's like, no, he's not allowed to progress. And look, I'm gonna keep it political, but just as a side item, sometimes these Ebony K. Williams type of people are a little bit too anti-male for me, and they don't understand the complexity of what they're saying and how the outcome of what they're saying is not strategic if you're really part of a team. It's like cursing out Ice Cube on national TV. Why? Or Stacey Abrams blaming Black men who were the second highest voter for her as the reason why she lost, without turning to the white woman and say, I thought sisters were supposed to support sisters. Why y'all only vote for me at the fourth? We got to understand that sometimes things are said, unfortunately, out of our need to be on the mic, but we don't have a track record on what we're saying. There's a lot of stuff that I don't agree with. There's a lot of stuff on my channel, and the people who come on my channel debate me, that I'll tell them, I don't take it personally what I'm about to say. I'm just telling you what it currently is. And my fans start to absorb, oh, okay, well, Mr. Research, I understand because you've laid it out like this and like that. It's just the unfortunate. And lastly, we are you better agree with me people. You better agree with me. I'm gonna push the mute button until you do agree, or I'm gonna kick you off stage if you don't agree with me. How can educated over 28-year-old people be that separatist? We're acting like the Sith a lot of times.
wow.
I mean, and you're right, and that's what I always say on this show. We may not agree, but that's what it's about, having conversations, because we learn it from each other. I always tell you all the time, I'm sitting up here, y'all know I don't know everything, and I don't ever say that I do. I learn a lot of stuff from y'all, but that's what it's about. But you're right, we got to stop having these, it's what I say, or I'm going to cut you off, or I'm going to cancel you. And sometimes you have to say, well, that's interesting. I don't agree necessarily, but I'm not going to hate you. We can still hang out and have lunch, or, continue to have conversations. But you're right. But that behavior is passed down, which is why a lot of us, especially in our community, we are so closed-minded, because we pass those things down. Oh, my grandmama said, my grandmama said you got to do this. Oh, my granddaddy. It's like, okay, well, those ideas are antiquated. Maybe that's how they thought back then, but we like in a new age here. We got to be able to think different things. A perfect example, the Democrat Party. When you tell a Black person, have you thought about the Republican? Oh, no. Well, do you even know what they're running for? It doesn't matter. They're Republican. And Republicans is like, but they might be talking some good stuff we need to hear. Don't matter. My mama said.
Yeah, you brought up the thing about Stacey Abrams. Has anyone ever asked Black men why they didn't vote for her?
We're not, you know what? Every time guys have tried, they've only had the goofy, non-well-read guys get the mic. I've been on Fox Soul, I've been on Fox News. I'm up to go to Bill Maher if they were able to call me, because I'm going to articulate for my people, but I'm going to articulate from a policy standpoint. They don't want those type of conversations. They want the people who have already decided, I'm going to go with what the group wants us to go with. Yeah, you can't have a conversation like that. You got to be able to have a well-rounded conversation. We're dealing with blue-collar people, upper-class Blacks, and brown-collar Blacks. And that's just what it is. I got to speak for all three of them. I just can't be, only focused on the people that patted my pockets, because then the other people going to be looking strange, even though they didn't pat my pockets. So I say all that to say that, yeah, the unfortunate thing is, even when you look at this CNN lady that just got caught with her billionaire in her bedroom.
Oh.
What? I think I need to come over here more often then. Put y'all up on game.
I don't even know.
She had an interview with this guy, and he's connected to Trump some way, somehow. And as she was doing some type of setup for her broadcast with CNN, the guy came out the bedroom.
What?
Like I said, I guess I need to come over here more often, man.
Now, see, that's comedy TV, right? I would watch that for a minute.
Yeah, so he came out the bedroom. She told him to go back, but you know, it's this type of inconsistency on both sides that's a problem. If you want to get some real game from Republicans, try this one out. Stay as an independent in your heart, in your voting. Don't claim either side.
That's me.
Okay. But if you do want to test out Republicans, register as a Republican, but get ready. You are going to get bombarded with information like you never got bombarded before about local things that are happening in your county and city.
That's true.
Conservatives vote 4 to 6 times a year. Liberals mostly once.
The national.
Right. We get information, I can't say, well, we as conservatives, we get information on judges, controllers. On my channel, I had to teach my fans what a controller is. Treasurers, the difference between the CEO of schools versus a school board. We get a lot of information just being registered. And people don't understand locally. You wonder why that bike lane is running in front of your house. You didn't go down there on September 9th and had that conversation on how you didn't want it in front of your house. You busy worried about the national. So it is what it is, man. I just want my people to really be researched in what they're saying. It doesn't mean I'm right, and I'm not talking down to nobody. People used to say, Mr. Research, you talking down. I used to say, look, I used to do dirt. I used to shoot guns. I'm from the block. I didn't think this stuff was true either. Go look it up.
Absolutely. You know what? Yeah, we need to have you on more often. And I would love for, since you're talking to black men with politics, I would have Walter and Donovan go over there. I think that would be amazing. So did you get Walter's email? Walter, can you put your email in the private chat in here? I put it up earlier. Let me see if I can find it.
All I see is mine in the private chat. I don't see anybody else's.
See, I put it up here.
I'll type it in there.
I got to get Donovan approved. You know how that is.
Oh yeah, but politics is Donovan's thing. That's right up his alley. I would love to be a fly on the wall with that conversation between you all. I really would love to see that. What is Donovan? Donovan got a weird email. Let me see.
Just give him mine and whatever he rocks with it. He rocks with it.
I think his email is no more hair hats at gmail.com or something crazy.
Hair hats. Hey, look, I will say this, man. I get on dudes a lot. I say, for us as guys, we got to get away from the complaint aspect of things, and a lot of the stuff that we say is factually true, but we can't fall in love with it. You know what I'm saying? It can't be like, I can't wait to connect with the fellas on iwantacomplain.com next week. You know what I'm saying? We can't do that, man. We got to get to a point where we like, you know what, me and 3 brothers, we got together and we created something to get rid of that problem or what have you. That's why everybody's so jealous of Californians, because we are the getting it done black politics people in all the nation. When you really look at it, we get more things completed out here, or at least talked about, than virtually any other state. I tell people all the time, California gets granted something. You in Missouri, that don't mean you get it. You got to go start your Missouri conversation out there.
That is absolutely true. And I put Donovan's email in there as well. I'm sure he's watching or he will watch. But yeah, y'all got to get on the show together. I look forward to that. And yes, we also need to have you come back, see La Trey. We need to have you come back because I learned something and I like learning stuff. So yeah,
No worries.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm gonna get out of you guys' way, let you do your Batman Robin thing.
All right, don't forget to get the emails in the private chat.
Yeah, I'm writing that down now. Appreciate you.
All right, bye-bye. Thank you. So yes, indeed, y'all, we are gonna get out of here. We love and appreciate all of you guys for coming in here and have a conversation and all that. And our brother Sammy says, I bear you winners train and losers complain. We must move beyond fixing the blame to fix the problem. You are absolutely right. And we are going to leave with that. So you guys, we'll see y'all on Sunday with Donovan. I don't know what we'll talk about, but I'm sure it'll be interesting. In the meantime, you all be safe. We also have ways to donate to the channel, like the video, subscribe, all of that. Every little bit helps. And thank you to the members. I love and appreciate you too. So thank you guys. Y'all have a great evening. Peace.